All right, Plat Chat Overwatch, episode 202, and welcome to the ongoing conversation about wake-up times here with the Plat Chat crew. We had to go live because we're 11 minutes late.
Yep.
But me and Joss, we've ganged up on Custa, who's currently staring down the sun, having his first cup of coffee for the day. When did you wake up, Custa?
9:30.
9:30. We'll do
So
it again.
late.
Why would I
you
be
go to
up?
sleep?
Why would I be up any earlier? What do
When
I
would
have
you go
to
to
do
sleep?
with
When
my
did you go to
life?
sleep?
1 a.m.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
can't remember last
okay.
time I was up
I
there.
got a
That's a
bunch
lot
of
of
fucking
sleep.
boomers in here. Like, hey, this is Plat Chat. This is about being a fucking DJ gamer and being through and true to it. And we got a bunch of, oh yeah, I like to go to bed at 10 p.m. because, you know, once
What's
the
wrong
sun
with that?
goes down,
I don't go to bed at 10 p.m.
tired, and then I want to get up early so I can, I don't even, what the fuck do you do at 6 a.m., guys?
Bro, haven't you listened to like the Huberman podcast and you like the blue light waves into your eyes that only appear at like 5 a.m.? No, I'm kidding.
It's fucking over. It's fucking over.
Okay, I'm not that guy.
Why are we
I am
here?
not that guy. I'm not that guy, pal. I wake up at 5. I get up. 5:30. I'm already on my PC. I've already loaded up Battlefield, and I'm already in the server dropping 50 bombs.
Because who are you playing against? Who is up at 6 a.m.? You're playing.
I don't know. There
you're
are
playing
people,
against
man.
the people who are up too late and they're absolute degens who are
Yeah.
still fucking drunk, and you're playing against the
And they
fucking
get
80-year-old
dominated.
Johnny who just installed it on his PC.
playing
Who's like,
Baby
oh,
Bay.
I wonder what dishes. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
he just got done fucking. Like,
Bay.
oh my god.
If you wake
it
up
feels
before
good.
when it's dark, like I don't know what you're doing. Like, okay, if you have to work or go to school, completely understand it. And especially if you're up north, like Sweden, it gets
That is-
dark so late that. But like here where we are in LA, if you wake up while it's still dark, like I don't know how you do that. Like
That
that's
is
messed
the
up.
most esports thing I've ever heard. If you're waking up when it's dark, when you don't have to get ready for fucking work, like everybody gets up when it's fucking dark here, bro, because they have to commute for like 3 hours to get into the fucking office.
Oh,
you
no,
don't.
because remote work, buddy. Because remote
Oh,
work.
okay,
You haven't
okay,
considered that,
okay. Some
okay?
privileged motherfucker gets remote work.
You
Some
haven't
people
considered like
don't
that.
get remote
Myself,
work.
I mean, listen. I think I wake up at like 8:30 a.m. typically.
That's a good time.
Okay,
I like
all right.
that. That's an
Yeah.
in-between.
I'm like an
Yeah, that's
8:30
alright,
a.m.
yeah.
wake up. You know, like sometimes if I sleep, go a little bit a little late, I'll wake up at a 9. You know, but I'm
Yeah.
like an 8 to 8:30 guy.
We got a
typically.
steady progression here of time. Wait, what time do you wake up, Johnny? 6?
I usually wake up like 6:30. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
yeah.
No,
so-
I get straight up.
God.
That's not bad.
Straight
That's
up.
not
I
bad.
can't be in bed. I just have
Yeah,
to get up
same.
immediately.
Same.
That's
That's
so
crazy.
strange to me. Like,
Well, I
'cause,
just
like,
wake up. Honest to God, I
obviously-
can't remember the last time I woke up with an alarm. I can naturally
Obviously,
wake
yeah.
up 6:30 every night. Or a day.
Everything is relative to your job, right? So it's like, it makes sense. But that's why it's crazy to me that you both wake up so early, because neither of you have a reason to be up prior to 7 a.m., right? So like, why wouldn't you just sleep in a little bit? Obviously it's nice, but if you go to bed at an earlier time and that, but like, I don't know. My thing is like, I want to get up at 9. I have an alarm that goes off at 9 a.m. every single fucking morning. I haven't gotten up for that shit in like weeks, because it's just like, I always just like snooze through it and then I wake up at 9:30.
Wait, I'm still getting the same amount of sleep is the thing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
obviously.
like, so I go to bed a little bit early and then wake up. Obviously in the winter it feels a little bit different, but when it's like in any other season, spring, summer, autumn or whatever, like the sun is just coming up kind of thing at 5, so you just get up, you see the sun outside, you stand there, hands behind your back. I had to grind
5.
for this view.
What?
I had to
Okay.
and then that's it. And then you
5.
just get shit
Fine.
going.
Okay, what time do you go to
5
bed?
is
What
insanity.
time do you go to bed?
I normally fall asleep at like 10, I think.
10
after I've watched some
PM.
shit. Yeah, I know. But I've got
Jesus.
nothing going on, bro. I just like getting up.
You were
early,
doing
man.
that when you had stuff going on. You were going to bed at 10
Yeah,
p.m.
that's
You had shit going on. Like 10 p.m. If you go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 5, your ass better be out there milking the cows. 100%. You better be out on the farm. I can't hear shit. Why can't I hear anything?
Because we're not saying anything.
We're not saying
No,
it,
Jack
it's
said
just you.
something.
No, you
Oh.
didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
you can obviously hear us because you responded to us.
Yeah, wait, Jack talking. Can't hear shit.
Joss might be
I can't hear
Solomon
what he
got
said.
him. Solomon
Can't hear
got
what
him.
he's
He's
saying.
like, this heresy, get it out of here.
We got him.
No, oh, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh,
Dude, my
okay.
audio
Whoa,
driver's
whoa.
just died on me. Okay, anyway.
My
5
favorite-
is pretty. It's a pretty decent time
Yeah.
to get up as well.
My favorite thing is from chat, 10 p.m. What are you, my parents?
Dude, 10 p.m.
Maybe-
is
maybe-
so
maybe-
good.
yeah.
son.
Go back to bed,
Maybe
motherfucker.
son. Yeah.
Do your homework.
Yeah. The only reason we're talking about this is because Solomon had to wake up, or I don't know if you had to wake up, but they woke up at 1 a.m. And now it's like 6 p.m. So, you know, Solomon, I feel for you. Whenever that happens to me, I just like phone
hardest
it in.
worker
I'm like,
in this podcast.
Oh, easily.
Solomon, everybody.
Easily.
what do you
it's
mean
actually
worker? It could just be a shit night of sleep. But anyway, it's when that happens, I'm just like, I phone it in. I phoned it in. I'm like, it's over. It's a bad day. Like, I'm not gonna try to
Okay,
save this day,
so have you been getting a lot of bad sleep recently, or like how's that?
Sometimes, occasionally, yes, Avast, indeed. I wake up at like 3 a.m. and it's pretty garbage. Yeah, occasionally that happens to me. Anyway, I meant to ask you, Avast, why does it look like you're about to go out fishing on the seas in Florida?
It
Well,
does.
it's been
does,
very,
I like it.
it's been a lot. There's been raining for like 3 days straight. Also, did you guys didn't see that the Nile turned red? So like a lot of shit going down
What?
recently, you know?
What?
I did
Yeah.
not see that. The Nile
Yeah,
turned
Nile turned
red.
red. A lot
Someone.
of storms.
Pull it up. Yeah.
Some,
We're in
you
off-season
know,
content right now,
like,
baby.
I think so. It was a good day for wind. I mean, schools in South Florida were literally canceled because they got flooded from all the rain.
Is it something to do with the bacteria? Probably algae or something.
It's probably just an algae bloom.
said it's
It might also.
red.
It might have been. It also might have been like a misinformation. It might have just been a meme on Twitter.
Wait, Avast, confirm
wait
or
a
deny.
minute.
Do you get your daily news
Oh,
from
yeah.
Twitter?
No,
it's
I don't
just-
do that.
it's
But I
just
do see
algae.
shit on Twitter. But you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, see,
yeah.
there we go. See,
No,
red, yeah.
okay.
Oh, it's from
Fact
2016. Okay, that shit's from ancient. Yeah, I got misinformation for that one. To be fair, that one I got
Okay.
misinformation. But it was really most of the windbreaker.
Red algae.
It's a windbreaker joke, you know. Guys, guess what? Guess what?
Is it windy over there?
The merch drop. It's look at the what is it? What is this? See, it's what does this look like? It's
Oh,
critical
Critical Role.
It's a critical role.
It's critical
Wood.
role.
Hell
It's
yeah.
critical
Wow.
role. Yeah.
Wait, are you a
Ash-
critter?
No, not really. I like their Vox Machina series though, the animated series. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Vox Machina series.
The child.
But I mean, really, you know, my girlfriend got me this. She likes it. But also, Ashley Uber's wife. You work for Critical Role. If you need any help, if you need a producer,
Blood is already searching.
me and her
He's
both love
plugging.
Critical Role. We'll work for Critical Role for sure.
There's a great job application right here.
Yeah.
Clip that, and ship that.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
yeah, that's what it is. It's a nice jacket. I like it. I mean, I actually, she's the critter, and she buys me Critical Role shit all the time. So I'm just like walking around in Critical Role stuff, and I'm like, I've yet to be confronted over it. I've yet to see a fellow.
Oh, really?
Critical Role fan.
Usually, we compliment anyone we see in the wild wearing critical role stuff. You know, we're just like, we have to go out of our way. So if we saw you, I would have pulled you aside.
I think I'm in the wrong place though. I think Boca Raton, Florida, where
yeah,
it's
Florida's
like,
not really
maybe
where
not.
they
it's a tough-
congregate.
I mean, like maybe if I was in like, I think like certain cities, like if I was in like Miami or Orlando, maybe, but I'm
Yeah.
not. So
yeah.
you know,
If you're doing job applications like that, Avast, can I give you a recommendation?
go on.
Take care of your facial hair. That's right. Manscaped is here sponsoring Plat Chat. Gentlemen across the nation, I have an urgent message for you. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. The brand that took your balls to space is now launching them into the Ultrasphere. Introducing Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, featuring a cutting-edge design and next-generation dual skin-safe blade heads for different shapes. It's pretty much a spaceship to take your boys downstairs to the next level. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code PLATCHAT. High tech for low places. That's a Manscaped for you. Thank you, Manscaped, for the continued support. You know, we got some holidays coming up. You know, we're in America, so I'm almost American. Be celebrating Thanksgiving next week.
Thanksgiving,
It's gonna
yeah.
be fun. It's gonna be fun. Eating some turkey. Usually, there's some stuff going on sale around that time, so you know, check that out. 25% off Black Friday sale on Manscaped right now. There's also Christmas coming up. You know, if you're listening to this and you need to buy a gift to someone, that special someone, maybe Manscaped. That'd be a great gift right there, and it's at a good price point too. You know, depending on how close you are to this friend. Maybe I'll even go to family member. $100 if you just need a weed whacker. Maybe like an older person in your life just like has a lot of nose hair. Yeah, that's right. Manscaped. That's the right product for you. So go to manscaped.com. Use the code PLATCHAT. 20% off plus free shipping. Right in time for holiday season. And you can see the testimonials right there. I can't remember the name. Great for your balls, they said. Something like that. That's spot
Something
on.
like that.
Bradley, thank you, Bradley. Good for your balls. Right on, Bradley.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Love that. Dane, everything was awesome. 10 out of 10. Julian, Manscaped is the future. It's also the current, guys. And that's where you need to go there right now. Manscaped.com. Use code PLATCHAT for 20% off. Plus free shipping. Thank you. Thank you, Manscaped. Appreciate you. As
Manscaped.
always.
Thank you so
I
much.
love this rocket ship as well.
Yeah.
I thought you were just like fucking roasting me. You were like, Like you did the apples. Like next time you have
Get it
like,
together,
he
man.
was.
Get that disgusting shit off your face, you
No,
slob.
it was just a transition. I don't mind. Look, I mean, I'm not perfect either. I've literally been like a cave goblin the past week and a half. Like since BlizzCon, I've been in a cave by myself.
Johnny, I
and
actually
just-
Jack and I were
Okay.
discussing this. 'Cause
Yes,
we were playing some duo. What the fuck are you even doing all day? Like I don't see. Like I feel like I don't know what the hell you're doing all day. You know, like I see like Scott and them like they're like what are you up to? Like what's going on over there?
You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know.
That does not.
No, I don't know.
No one knows. This was
I'm
the
not
mystery
sure.
we were trying to solve the other day.
Like just
I'll
you know,
let it
what's your
remain a mystery.
average
I'll
day
let it
been?
remain a
What's your
mystery.
average day been for the
Johnny's
first
playing
couple
hardcore
months?
WoW. We've lost him.
Just playing WoW.
I am not playing hardcore WoW.
I just wanna know
I
what your
am getting
average day is
Shadowmoon
like.
next week, Custa. I'm getting Shadowmoon next week. I hope. So,
Congratulations.
Fingers crossed. But you know, that's raiding like 3 nights a week. But yeah, no comment. Moving on. Plat Chat, Overwatch stuff. We need to talk about tons of BlizzCon announcements that took place. Of course, there was a new hero revealed, and some of you might even played it. I have not played the new hero, Mauga, that was announced. But then there was tons of stuff regarding the matchmaking, new heroes coming next year, new game modes coming, and obviously we had the Roadhog rework happen as well. So like tons of new stuff is happening in the Overwatch space. Do you guys want to kick it off with BlizzCon announcements and Mauga? Joss, did you get a chance to play the hero?
Yeah, played a little bit. Not a quick play. Played it in training range. The hero seems pretty cool. Like the very obvious kind of flaw with the hero, I think, unless he turns into like a queen of sorts, is that no armor. He is very large, like Roadhog kind of thing, like model size, and doesn't really have any kind of shielding or like way to, apart from obviously the not life steal. Yes, technically is, but apart from like the life gain. He looks like you'd have to play like a rush style kind of comp, which I think is quite cool. I think just promoting fast Overwatch is quite epic. And the other small thing I did like as well, they've not really done this before. And it's like, there's like like actual TikTok fucking content right here. Hidden combo with Mauga. Ash Dynamite proxies fire thing. So when you shoot people, you get life back because they're on fire technically. It's the same like status, which is quite cool.
Would that work with Torbolt too if they're like on fire?
I don't think you're on fire with Torbolt. It's
Or is it just the
Yeah,
effect
I
that
don't
looks
think
like
you're
it?
igniting.
Yeah,
I think you're just
okay.
on
You're just
fire.
taking AoE damage
Yeah.
basically, because like you're not on fire when you leave Torbolt, so I don't think it counts. It could do, but I'm not sure. I didn't test that. But I thought the character was quite cool. It's very in the same realm as like Queen, but he's gonna get shit on by a lot of supports, I think. But cool
tank
character
way.
design.
Yeah,
It is.
I agree. I agree with Jack. Like, it does feel like a very feast or famine hero. Like, if you can go in and live long enough to ignite everything and blow it up and do the mini crits and all that good shit, like it'll be good. But I think he's gonna have the same issue that Roadhog runs into a lot, and we'll talk more about his rework as well. Is that sometimes you're just gonna die. If they go Zenyatta Ana, you don't really have counters to that. You just get discorded, you just get slept, and you just get anti-nated, and you're just probably gonna die. So it's gonna be like an all or nothing type hero. And those types of heroes are very difficult to balance historically as well. Like Junker Queen is a great example. I actually think they've really found a good niche for Queen. I actually think Queen's in a perfect spot. So maybe they can find it, but the big difference between those two heroes is that Mauga's hitbox is Roadhog size. And I think when you have a tank that big who doesn't have a shit ton of armor or a shit ton of defensive capability, they kind of just fall over most of the time.
And he doesn't provide utility.
Yeah.
Is the big thing as well.
No
like
shielding.
Queen has shout, and then her ultimate as well. It's not utility. It's more like, well, you just giant anti-nade, right? But like his ult is very much, I'm gonna lock some people into this one space, so my teammates can shoot them, and hopefully I don't fucking evaporate. Because if you get naded, if you get slept or whatever, like you're gonna get rolled as the Mauga. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think feast or famine heroes are good for the game in general as an overall. Obviously, most of the time we look at the game from like a high level, like competitive kind of standpoint. Mauga, unless he does run into the Queen thing where it's like, actually, wait, holy shit, he's like very OP actually. I don't think it's a bad thing at all because it's just the character looks fun and is going to be fun because it puts a lot of agency on the tank player just basically running in and doing damage and shooting people. Which is like the complete opposite to someone like Ryan, you know, and Sigma. So I think in overall for the game itself, I think cool hero, and yeah, I think he fits the bill pretty well.
I do want to add one more thing as well. He does have a similar issue though that we've seen from previous heroes of Junker Queen and Brig, where He has a big AoE ability that, if it tuned wrong, will just ruin the game, because it's I was just looking it up. It's a 30% damage reduction in a 30-meter radius, with 60% of all damage dealt converted to healing. I believe that applies to absolutely everyone. The cardiac overdrive. That's fucking crazy. Like, you can't fight into that. So it's like, if you run like a Brig, a Mauga, and you just fucking run at people, it could potentially be very difficult to deal with on specific maps. Like, if you're a Reinhardt, how do you stand up to that? You're just gonna like get run over. So I think he could run into like the overpowered issue of just when you put them all together in a 5-player rush, when everyone's working together, it could just be very overpowered.
And
so we'll see if that happens
obviously,
as well.
because the hero's not out. It very well could be a Queen thing where like actually he's very broken. But the character overall, it looks fun.
Yeah. Cool design. I love the design as well.
I'm worried about him. I'm going to say, I think, because I don't even think you have to run like a Zen Ana to punish him. You could just run like an Ana and punish his ass. You know, like, it's like, I have seen though for his one of the funniest clips of all time was like someone got a really early clip where like they were, when he was out for the weekend, when they unveiled him, of like they ulted on Samoa and the team was trying to contest, but because he ulted, but he died and they were trapped in the ult, so they couldn't get out of the ult to contest the point. So they lost the point because it was like a 98%. So they were trapped in his ult, unable to contest. So like, that's pretty funny to me, actually, is like some of those interactions. I mean, I like his kit. I find it fun. I also think it's cool that they added a mechanic where he can get out of ults, essentially. Like, they have something where like his dash where you can like escape like a flux and stuff like that. Like, I think that's something that's been kind of missing, is some abilities to like, essentially when you have a hero that's so vulnerable to being essentially just shot and targeted because of their big hitbox and lack of shielding, you need to give them some survivability. And like, Hog's answer to that is the breather mechanics, we'll discuss more. Orissa's answer for the rework was like the javelin and like, you know, fortify and stuff like that, or not javelin, rather the, you know, the eat and fortify. So like Mauga needed something like that as well. So I'm glad they added it. I'm still just worried about him, like the overall meta, and just getting like, because also I don't really think he has like, outside of his leap, which like you said, Scott, is like pretty strong. There's just not like a lot of extra utility he's giving to his team at all. Which is like, that's why like a hero like Junker Queen kind of works for certain comps, because like the shout is so strong. You can combo shout with like so many different things to like give power to your team. Her ult is really, really good, obviously, too. But like, and she's very like, and same thing with like Orisa. Orissa's like, okay, I can mitigate damage. I can take a shit ton of damage, even if I don't shield. So I can like disrupt people and like go into the backline. Like, that's why I'm worried about Mauga, is like, where does he stand in terms of like, is he going to be more close to a Roadhog, or is he going to be closer to like a Junker Queen? And that's like, that's essentially like the mode we're operating with him. So we'll see. His design's cool though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good for the game because he has this big personality, you know, big brawler, and like just super chaotic in a sense. But
so
it feels
funny.
like
They can't get out of the hole.
Help me!
Oh, so funny.
That is funny. That is funny. But
Ridiculous.
it seems like in Overwatch 2, like they really just emphasize on having fun, and like heroes that are just fun at like brawling and like almost deathmatchy. Like Kiriko, like you teleport around and you can flank. Ilari is just like, yeah, you're a support that obviously really can kill people. And now you introduce a new brawler. It seems like they're just trying to introduce new fun heroes that like just are really fun to play and not really like sit back and, you know, like when was the last time we had like a Cassidy hero released, you know? Like all these new heroes are just like quick and do stuff. So you like this direction?
Yeah, we're never going to have a Cassidy again. We're never going to have a soldier again. The heroes fundamentally are designed so basic because of like how much Overwatch has evolved throughout the years. It's, in a sense, you can see this in other games too, and it's a good way to, I think, relate like hero design in Overwatch to games like League of Legends. Like the feature creep of a hero. Like think about when Sigma released as well. Everybody was like, holy shit, the amount of abilities. Like, he's got a shield that he can just put out there. He has spheres, infinite ammo that can bounce, that do AoE. He has a rock. He also has an eat, like a Diva Matrix. His ultimate also is like CC in a way, because it launches people up and does percent damage. And now everybody's like, oh, okay, Sigma's fine. Like, Sigma is a hero. It's pretty basic, you know? I think with heroes, as we go forward, we will never have a more basic hero again. Again, like a Mercy, for example, a very basic hero. Moira, a very basic hero. We probably won't ever have that again because the game has evolved to a point where, like, the players, and even new players, to be fair, kind of expect heroes to be very flashy, because that's how you sell the game to people, not for like monetary, obviously free to play monetary standpoint, but like to kind of win them over to come and play the game. Like, we're not going to get simple heroes again, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's a bad thing when we do eventually kind of creep into the territory where two heroes are kind of similar in what they achieve, but like they're so close released together. Like Yone and Yasuo from League of Legends, if anybody kind of understands that reference, like they're very similar heroes, and actually what they do, it's kind of almost uncanny. And like, I only think we're going to get to that point when we have like maybe 100 heroes kind of thing. I don't think we need to worry about that, but like, as long as we don't go too crazy with it and too many crazy invulnerabilities and too many deployables, I think that's where we kind of cross the line. But I like the direction that we're going with heroes being very unique, and Blizzard always does a good job with that.
If we get to 100 heroes, I'll tip my hat. Like that,
Yeah,
that would actually be wild if we got to 100.
How many are we now?
I think we're at like 40 something, 42, 43.
Oh,
No,
are we actually?
No.
I think
like
if you count Mauga and then the next couple that we have, I think
Overwatch heroes?
I think we're actually in the 40s these days. Overwatch heroes.
38.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'm a little too high. All right, but
Those
we're
are
getting there.
39, yeah.
We are.
I was gonna say like, cause like
So Mauga's 39.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still like, because we still had a much bigger depth. You know, you would think by this point we would have like 40-ish, but remember we had like a drought for a while. So
yeah,
like,
with Echo and that gap there.
Dude,
Yeah.
we'd be at 50 in like 2026.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe we have almost 40 heroes. Like, that is, well, we'll have 41 with Space Ranger.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That seems I don't know. That's wild to me.
How many
It's
does League of Legends have?
a lot. And I was thinking
this.
this when Jack was doing his like thing, because like every video game has this issue. Like even Valorant, which if you want to talk about more recent games, it's like they can't release a simple hero anymore because then the fans just riot and call it lazy. But like you think of like
165
League of Legends
heroes.
series that have come out in the last few years, you think of like Samira, like Viego, these characters that are just fucking bonkers. And then like Valorant, like people getting sent to the gulag with what's his face, hot e-boy guy,
Yeah,
ISO.
puts him in the gulag. Yeah.
Puts them in the gulag, right? Like there's it's always going to expand people. They're always going to try and one up themselves and like create something more dynamic and cooler than the last one. So Overwatch is in that spot. I agree with Jack. I think we're at a point where the developers are kind of taking off the gloves and be like, you know, we're going to try and keep it competitively balanced, but we just want to make some cool shit at the end of the day. Well, they're not a competitive forward game. Like, it's not always built for the top end competitive. Just make it fun. Make it something that people want to just log in and fuck around with.
And it helps that we went to 5v5, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. There's so much more freedom you can have with a 5v5 and one less tank. Like, think again, the combinations with the tanks just get too ridiculous. Mauga fucking Hog, imagine that shit.
Mauga Queen.
Throw game. Holy throw game.
Yeah.
Mauga Queen, right? Just like perma rush. That would be awful to play against.
I mean, people have been arguing very heavily about, you know, like we need 6v6 back still. So, you know.
They're
We don't
always
get on
more-
don't get started on the topic.
We're not
Don't get started on the topic.
We're not
Don't get
talking
started on
about
the
that.
topic. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, it is a good thing though, and I think in general you do need those heroes that are more simple to play. And like Soldier he is a soldier, like he shoots with his gun, you know, like that, and that's it, and that's fine. You do need those simple heroes, and then you do need more complicated heroes that require a lot more mechanics to satisfy people that are a lot better than the average player, you know. So in general, it is a good thing, and as long as every now and then we get a hero that is a little bit easier to pilot, and I really enjoyed. Right, yeah. So that's what I was going to say. I really enjoyed the releases currently with support role, because Alari, fairly high skill in terms of like doing damage. Pylon not so much. Holy moly, you can put that in crazy spots. But like you need to do a lot of damage with Alari to be effective in the character. But then Lifeweaver, on the other hand, you don't really need to do damage at all. Like you do a little bit here and there, but like it's a lot to do with just pulling and healing and just like staying back. And is it a little bit more simple, a lot less mechanically focused on characters like Alari. So as long as every now and then we get a character that's a little bit more simple to pilot, it's a good thing. But I think recently, I want to see what Space Ranger does, obviously. But I think we've been in a good direction with the hero releases.
Yeah, there were two new concepts kind of showcased during BlizzCon, just like moving on to the next heroes. The one of them is Space Ranger. What's the other one called? The Earth one?
It's like Venture, I want to say.
Venture? Yeah, I mean, it literally said on the screen when you
bring
pull
up
up that
that
webpage.
thing
Yeah,
a second
but
ago, Solomon?
it's in our thumbnail as well. And also, they showcased even a video of that hero as well. It was like 5 seconds, but it was cool because it kind of like goes to what you guys were talking about new heroes and like doing weird stuff. And in this case, in the gameplay video, the next hero will be able to like burrow underground. And I was like, that's crazy. So I just like how innovative they are. Ever since Wrecking Ball, I've kind of like learned to just like throw my expectations out the window because like they can come up with some mad shit. So a new hero being able to like burrow underground, that just seems awesome to me. So I put the video in the document. So
Yeah, it is Venture.
Did anyone else see it and immediately think of the Underminer from The Incredibles?
Yes.
Like when it passed.
What?
Have you seen the
Underminer.
end of The Incredible, the first movie? Like he comes out, he's like, I am the Underminer, and then like he pops out of the ground. Like it's
did
exactly
not.
that. It's like the same concept. It's a really cool like idea and like
interesting
character
mechanic.
design. Yeah, I like, and then
Look,
like adding a new
this one's
mechanic,
awesome.
which no one else has, which is underground, right? Like they're literally just like burrowing. No one else does that at all. And I'm kind of curious to see if he like when they're underground. I assume that it's just like they're pretty much out of existence. It's kind of like Wraith walking away.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it
what it
looks
seems
like you can't be damaged.
I think
I
their
love
weapon's
doing
also
that.
pretty interesting too.
That's
Like the
so
weapon
nice.
projectile is pretty interesting as well, where it's like kind of like a solid projectile that does like impact damage, perhaps. Like it's a pretty interesting like I don't know how many other guns really when I think about it that are currently like maybe fucking I don't even know. Like I'm trying to think
No,
of
there
like what
isn't-
like I don't think there really is a
right?
lot that are like this where it's like an orby that bounces, you know? Like there's technically like the the sim orbs, but that's more like it just fires in one direction, doesn't have impact damage per se. It's
Sigma
just, like,
orbs is the closest
yeah, I guess
thing.
I guess the
goes-
Sigma rock. Yeah, the Sigma Orbeez. That's true. That
because
does
it only goes a set distance. They said so, like
Yeah.
it can't go across the map or anything, and then it explodes. And yeah, the character looks kind of wicked. A little bit of invulnerability. Like I mentioned before, I do think if we get to the point where there's too many invulnerables, Wraith Walk Fade, the burrow, like it'll be a little bit frustrating. But it doesn't look that crazy to me because you can just follow it. It's not like they go completely invisible and they disappear like old Sombra, or like Sombra now. So it looks pretty sweet.
It also seems like it's a core part of their kit. It feels like one of those situations where it's like if you look, they don't have many abilities. They only have two. They have the dash forward and they have the burrow. And then whatever the left click is. So they don't seem like they have a lot in the kit. So I'm okay if the burrowing is strong in its own right, if that's just the core part of the character's kit. So it's like they don't do a lot, but they come in and out of combat very quickly. Because the knock-up seems to be the important part of coming out, right? Like that's going to be a great
boots or
initiation
something,
tool.
and probably does some damage. Yeah, definitely some more to those abilities that it's hard to tell. But it looks awesome. Like the concept is amazing. So.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to see more of Venture next year. But that's pretty much all we have. There was obviously as well in that hero select screen, there was a little teaser as well. What's his name? Or their name? Sound something? Sound. No,
Yeah, there was
Soundquake?
one if you were looking close enough in the hero.
the shockwave one. Okay, yeah. I
Sure,
got it.
yeah, I'm expecting
tank,
that to be the
right?
tank. That was what people speculated. Because that's been
Right.
speculated for like years too, right? So Soundquake, I think that's the name. Yeah.
So those are probably the next three heroes that are coming out after Mauga. You got the DPS, the tank, and the support, which I think is cool. Like the Space Ranger seems like an interesting idea. Like they sort of didn't really speak to it at all, but like it seems the way the kit looks, it looks like an airborne kind of support, which would be interesting.
no.
That doesn't really exist,
no more
and
flyers.
that opens up a weird can of worms if that ends up being like they can end up pocketing Farah as well, or they can help dive
I
through
would
the
take
air or
support
that kind of
Echo.
stuff. Yeah, hey, they had support Echo. I'm down. That sounds lit. No power creep here.
You can't wait to see Custa feed playing support Echo.
I can feed even faster in the air. Mach speed.
This is my only like worry as we go forward. Like I think we've hit the point now with deployables that we need to just maybe a little slow
Maybe a little
down
less,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Bro,
little
that shit
less
is
deployable.
crazy.
It is
when the
real
kill
bad.
feed has
Yes.
like, it's like, okay,
The
I've killed the pylon, I've killed the lamp, I've killed the
mech,
Roadhog.
the
Like,
TP,
oh
like,
my God, it's crazy.
everything. And
It's like
I
you're
actually
fighting a
think-
fucking warlock.
kind of
Insane.
I actually think at this point we should have because I don't think that information is very valuable. Like, oh, this person killed TP, this person killed
Yeah, I
Lamp.
agree.
You should have that in a sub menu, or it should be kill feed, and then it should just be a small bar on the other side, on like right next to it that says like Lamp's dead, red teleporter dead, blue teleporter dead, red Lamp is dead, or whatever, blue pylon, etc. Because the kill feed, you can literally fill it right now without kills. You can just kill deployables. You can just kill the summons. And I'm like, I think we should chill just a little bit. Because there's going to be a point where, like, if there's another deployable hero, it's just going to be insane. We're just shooting deployables, we're shooting AI, and we're not shooting real people. Like, yeah. And that's my only worry. And I think the same could be said for flying heroes, too. If we get too many flyers, it's just going to be ace combat in the air, you know? It's going to be Tom Clancy's Hawks. I don't want to go that far and get like a whole squad going in the air.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Solomon just cracking a cold one into
Bro is
our
opening a
ears.
beer on
Yeah. Also did like the tapping thing to just prevent the phone coming.
Just rip it off like a
I've
band-aid, bro.
never done that. Is that a thing? You tap something?
Yeah, you
yeah.
tap on the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it
my
works,
ass-
but
Yeah, I do
My
it
ass
every
has
time.
been
I don't
raw
know.
dogging that every time. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no matter what.
It's a
Like
habit
I
at
had
this
like
point. You
I
just tap a few times.
I
man,
mean,
to
my
get the
ass.
bubbles out.
That's crazy.
yeah. It literally happened to me a couple days ago because I was opening an old Washington Justice beer and I was like, I don't know if this is any good.
Holy
And I just
shit.
cracked it open.
No, okay. Did you? By the way, do you think those were bad? I did not like those. They were also IPAs, so I don't.
I
really
love
like
them.
IPAs.
I think they're really good, but those ones, they were like left in the Burbank studio for like half a year because Danny brought them in, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna drink these. I don't know. So they just let in like warm, and they were probably cool, and yeah, it was just messed up. So
No,
I
those
cracked one
were
open, and I
like-
was like, this is a bad idea. Like I should just throw these out. But I love the Washington Justice beer. I thought it was really good.
Really,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess it's because it's IPAs. I don't really like IPAs that much, so like I'm not like a huge, but like it reminds me of the Elon Musk beer where it's like $75 per bottle.
What? I did not know.
Yeah,
you
Elon,
did
they
that.
had like a Tesla beer. It's like $75 per bottle. Like it's just like ass apparently.
Okay,
but,
that
you know.
seems dumb. But it was legitimately, it was from like a brewery in Washington, like a good brewery, and I think they just rebranded to
Well, I mean,
like
that's really
those
what they
cans
do.
to Washington Justice. Yeah,
It's
so,
like the Pokimane cookies.
I
it
was
was
about
like
to
a
say,
great-
are we going to
that
get
was
onto that next topic? We talk about the Pokemon.
it's the off
biscuit?
season, buddy. It's the off season.
No, I
We
mean the
can
Pokimane
dive
cookies are
into
technically
it.
not. It's technically different too because she rebranded the formula is slightly different as well. So technically, it's not just a white label. She did actually change up some of the formula.
There you
know,
go.
the ratio.
Isn't it like one ingredient? I thought it was one ingredient.
No, she added vitamin D, but also it's the ratios of ingredients. So like you can list when you list
Vitamin
like the
D.
nutrition facts, it doesn't show like
The
it doesn't show like how the formula is like how do you ratio certain ingredients. It just shows what ingredients is in it, you know? So like obviously like yeah, all cookies are gonna have fucking like,
there it is,
flour and shit in
Pokimane.
them.
Ah,
You know
yes,
that one
Pokemon.
follow, you know who she follows? That's me. That's that
Okay,
one
buddy.
No, oh wait, remember?
No,
it's
it's
a
a
big
Bitcoin.
boy.
It's a Bitcoin.
Pokemon!
You were the chosen
Oh,
one.
no. Do you think Pokemon went to the Bored Apes Club convention where everyone got blinded by medical grade
I
UV
fucking
lights?
saw that.
Do you think that was
Holy
the issue with
What
that?
there was like ultraviolet light or something.
Yeah,
They put medical grade
like
disinfectant
factory.
lights.
Yeah.
It's like
Medical
alarm
grade.
going lights or some shit. That was insane.
Oh my god.
Me and my friends going blind because I have the coolest ape
It's
picture.
NFTs.
You guys just don't get it. It's a crypto thing.
That's true.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
clearly. I'm glad I didn't
Holy
stay up
shit.
until 4 a.m., Johnny, to buy a JPEG pixel bird. That would be crazy if I did that, actually.
Moving on, there were more announcements. They talking about the matchmaking. Matchmaking, Joe. So you excited about matchmaking? Great new
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Ton-
pretty excited about matchmaking. It's going to be great.
Hey, they changed up like everything we complain about the system. Or well, almost
well,
everything.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really at all, actually.
No,
They,
okay. Well, there was no mention of top 500, was there? No.
No.
Oh well,
Why would they do that?
they said they're adding a new rank at the highest
ultimate.
level, ultimate. Which
Yeah.
there's been like so many articles and people like that have saying the name is silly. Like, does it really fucking matter? Like, ultimate. Okay, I agree. It's definitely not the best name they could have come up with, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like the rank name doesn't matter. I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see what it's like. It might be more in line with what we were talking about in the past. I think on Plat Chat with like Apex Legends, the way they do it, where like you hit this max rank and then there's like actually a tracked thing of like where you stand, and then there's probably top 500 above that as well. It's to avoid the people who will run into the issue where it's like you're not in top 500, but you're like GM1, so you have nothing to play for. You're just like every 5 wins you get GM1. But on top of the rank changes, like they're getting rid of that 5 system. They're going back to a more conventional style where you go from 0 to 100 and you can see your progression of rank and where you're going up and down. I think it's kind of like the old system, funnily enough, where it's like if you just put it in like a level by level thing of like it's just 5,000 SR, but you don't see it as an SR number, like an overarching number. You're just like gold 4, 53 out of 100 through. So, but if you just stack those on top of each other, it's just a 5,000 SR.
It's pretty
system.
standard through almost every game now, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, Valorant does the same thing. We just have a percentage, and that's it. And they just have a number, and it goes from 0 to 100. Like, I think it's good. I think Ultimate is a really interesting topic too, because they did mention that Ultimate 1, or like the top rank in Ultimate, is going to be hard to get. So you could kind of think of that of like near 5k SR, I guess. Obviously, without the actual SR number. Obviously, we've not seen the rank yet, so that it could be like the Apex numbers like you were talking about, Scott. But overall, I do think it's a good thing, because even Gavin said in the talk, we have more Grandmaster players than we've ever had before. And like, that's a good thing in a way. But you also need a way to kind of spread that out a little bit, especially in like GM1. If you're a GM1 and like you mentioned, oh, I got 5 wins. Oh, I'm 83% higher than the rest of them now, I guess. Oh, my top 500? Oh, I'm not? Okay, that's cool. But like spreading that top end out a little bit more, getting more granular as you go higher up the ranks is always going to be a good thing. Because you could say you're GM1 now, and you could be GM1 0%. Better than everybody else, or you could be GM1 100% and you're just below top 500, or like you're just in top 500. So overall, it is a very good thing. Like, just getting granular is important, and we're not going to get the old SR system back, which sucks. But I mean, this is the best that we can do, and fucking thank God we're getting like instant feedback as well, and not having this bullshit. Well, I got 14 losses, better stop fucking playing. It's it was an insane system.
The game reports was a colossal failure. I don't think I know a single person who really likes like 5-win system and that kind of stuff. Like, obviously, it was to take away like that ranked experience of feeling like people getting nervous every time they play and feeling like they have to see their number go up and down every time they finish a game. But I think when it came to it, everyone was like, no, I would prefer that than having negative information and just having no idea nothing to play for in some way. So I'm glad that they have the pride to be able to just be like, well, okay, we fucked up, scrap it, go back to something pretty industry standard, as Jack said.
Yeah. And it was worse. It was worse seeing, like, say you're 3 wins and you've got 9 losses. Like, that was worse seeing that. I got out of a game and I'm on like, you're on like a loss streak and you're like, holy shit, this feels bad. Like, I know I'm going to rank down after this one, you know what I mean? And you're just waiting for the inevitable to happen. Oh, you get the 5 wins, you get the however many losses. Yeah, I know I'm going to rank down because I've already seen my wins and losses. It just felt terrible.
I will say the one thing I really like about what they're introducing is they're telling you why you get more or less SR from any given game. They sort of talked about it of like, hey, your team was like expected to lose, so therefore if you win, you get more points. Your team were like, there's like group penalties and stuff like that. That's a really good addition. On top of that, the other thing that I think is important for the game is the wide group thing. Oh yeah, there you go. The advantage, your streak, your calibration, all that type of stuff. So that's a cool thing to sort of show why you're getting more or less points, because that's always been a big question in the past. But the other one is as I was saying, the wide grouping. That just helps people play together. As long as people understand that the queues are probably going to be shitty as fuck when you try and do a wide group, and it's probably going to take a long time to find matches. Like, it just allows people to play together on their main accounts, which anytime you can enable people to play with their friends, I think people are going to play more.
Yeah.
Without making an ult.
Totally agreed. I think overall, cool with it. I think we just need indicators for ranked. I'm also glad, because I think also part of the system why it didn't work is that at the end of the day, ranked is gambling. Ranked is gambling, and people love to gamble. And like, you need, like, every time you want to log in, you want to see like, holy shit, I hit the jackpot, like I won, number go up. It's like, oh, I lost, oh shit, but it's okay, I can't keep losing, because don't worry, You can't lose 10 in a row. Okay, one of these got to win. Keep putting $20 in, $20 in. Keep putting those 20. Okay, I need more chips into the game. You know, you want to keep doing that.
He's not wrong.
Like, I think
Wait,
that's part of the reason
maybe
why
he
rank
is.
systems are. They work. The current system and indicators work is because like people want to see progress.
Do you
and they
think
also
playing in a
wanna-
football game is gambling?
It depends.
you're
Are
randomly
you
assigned
on
teammates.
FanDuel? Are you using DraftKings? Like, I
No,
don't
I'm talking
know,
about
like-
participating, kicking a soccer ball.
Well, but that's the difference because is it their stakes? Are there stakes attached to it?
Their ranking numbers compared to
What's
your
the- yeah,
your
where's the
Well,
stake?
full
if
game
you're
result.
in like a league
Do you have a digital
table,
indicator?
then,
Are you wearing
yeah.
like a metaverse quest and you're like seeing your number go up like as you play?
What?
Like, I'm just saying there's an 8-brain dopamine cycle here about like seeing the number go up and seeing the number go down, you know? Like there's something there, and it's the sunk cost fallacy. Be like, oh, next one we got, you know, play to a win, play to a win, play to a loss type of thing.
What
Like,
are you
know, it's like-
talking about?
Maybe that's why everyone in my ranked games are depressed as fuck because they're
I
all just
know.
gambling their SR away every single game.
I mean,
Yeah.
I no joke. I think if anything, if we want Overwatch to be more successful, it's why I'm glad we're adding rewards, which everyone's been talking about. But now we need more than that rewards. We need like how casinos send free money to people to come play at the casino. Occasionally, like, hey,
You
we
get
haven't
free
seen you in a
SR
while.
for logging
Like,
in.
here's some SR, man. Here you go. Get back in the queue.
Your daily
Like,
login bonus.
Daily
20
login
SR.
bonus. Like, oh, you haven't played ranked for 2 weeks. Hey, how about some priority queues for us for 3 days? You know, how about some
on
priority
us,
queues?
on us.
That's
Like,
the
Hey,
no,
we
free
saw you
drink
play
that
20
they give.
games. Here's some rake back. Here's some rake back.
I'm
for your
just
lost
saying.
SR.
I'm just saying.
Oh my
And then
God.
you know that's what essentially what
Whoa,
challenges
look.
for League is, right? It's like that's like the invite. That's like the high roller table. Like we have that for Overwatch. We have like the high roller table. It's like, okay, what if you could play a rank game, but you could put like a whole rank on the line if you win or lose? You know, like what
Holy
if you
shit.
win that game?
Wait, this
you
would
get
go
like a whole,
crazy.
you get like
No,
an
he's not
extra
cooking.
boost of
He's
SR.
not cooking.
This
Do
would
not
go
And then you
listen to
lose
this
that
rage. Do not
game.
listen.
you lose like all of your SR. Then you're back at like diamond or some shit. You were like GM and it's like, you're in diamond now, bitch. Like, you know,
Bro,
that was
what
a high
happened?
loss.
It's like, I bet everything, man. I bet everything on the game.
I bet it all. Now I'm in bronze. God damn it.
What
Like,
if you could bet your profile picture on the line?
Oh,
See?
yeah.
Then
Think
if
about
you
that.
lose, like they get your profile picture.
Can I bet my pink Mercy skin on a
With the
game?
skins,
Oh
yeah,
and
my
then like
God.
everyone else has to
Skin
match
betting.
it.
Oh my god, CS:GO Lotto.
betting,
Oh,
yeah.
whoa.
I'm just
Overwatch
saying, what if
Lotto.
like a visual indicator, like a card, and then it's like, okay, like you're my rival for the match. Like choose to accept this. If you choose to accept this, if you beat me, like you're like I have to wear a title card saying like I'm like Dr. Manhattan's bitch or something, right? Like that's like the name. And then like if I beat you, then you're my bitch. Then you're Kitty Lover 22's bitch, you know? Like I'm just saying that like there's a lot of opportunities here where we haven't re-engaged in the gambling portion yet of Overwatch
Oh
ranked.
my
Can you
god.
haven't
imagine
seen
doing that shit and getting a Junkrat one trick on your team as soon
shit
as
would
you
go
load into
crazy.
the game? You just fucking
Dude, there was a
lose.
game I can't remember that I used to play that had that system, the rival system, and it was like was it in FPS? It wasn't like Burnout or something, was it? Burnout Paradise or some shit like that. But oh man, I remember a game specifically that had a rival. It's like, oh, this is your rival, like they're on the enemy team. Kill them or like do something or win against them, and you get more points or whatever. I could do that. Man, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I just had some.
Tier
crazy
2?
games as a
Is
kid.
it
I don't
tier 2? You
No,
didn't get
I mean, well,
items, though.
TF2
though.
you
It
can be
might-
dominated.
it
TF2
you
get
can dominate
yeah.
a Nemesis. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have that. So you could theoretically be like.
Dude, that
oh,
was such a fun
dominate.
feeling when you were dominating like the entire lobby. That was
Yeah, that
ridiculous.
was so.
That's a
good.
fun. It's hard to do with Overwatch because the amount of like interactions
can't
with the
do it,
mechanics,
yeah.
you know, like and the
Also-
final blows.
It's- okay, this is a very small side tangent, but like, can we redo the on fire thing? Like that shit is.
Dude,
not
people
good.
love that shit. They tried to take it away and people rioted. Like, you
Yeah,
can't.
no,
No, but
there's
like,
no
no,
reason to
redo
take
it.
it away.
You should not be able to steal someone's fire. That makes no sense. That makes zero fucking sense. Oh, you killed the enemy player that's like blazing, like fucking 420. Oh, rest in peace, Snoop Dogg, not smoking anymore. Yeah, I have to bring that up somehow.
True,
like-
Snoop Dogg is not smoking anymore.
Snoop Dogg is not
No.
smoking. Under much
Dude,
consideration.
respect
Conversation.
his privacy, Jack.
He's
respect
giving up
his
the
privacy.
smoke.
Don't talk about
Respect it. Respect the privacy.
I hope
He's giving up the
I'm
smoke.
sending my thoughts and
God.
prayers to Snoop Dogg's family.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, honestly, I can't believe this happened. You know, this
I-
is
It's insane.
This is sending
Bro, and the crazy
shockwaves
part
through the
too is like
community.
this is when we need adopters of of marijuana the most because I own some weed stocks, so I need you guys to pump that.
Oh,
shit.
okay. It's all coming out.
I need you guys
It's
to
all
pump
coming
that
out,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
honestly, the weed market is crashing with Snoop Dogg.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
over. This is over. This is.
Wait.
It's never been worse. This is the worst part. This
I
is like
wonder
telling
if
me
weed
that like.
stocks did drop. Give me a
I'm
second.
actually going to check Yahoo Finance.
Yeah,
it's
weed
fucked.
stocks.
It's fucked.
Is that
So
real,
fucked
Snoop?
up.
And this is real. Apparently, Snoop has.
This is like
has
telling me
given
that, like,
up
Oh my
weed.
all
god, they
dogs.
did. Oh my
Yeah.
god, they're down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Bro had to move so many tons
Minus
of weed.
1%, minus 1.4,
Oh my
2.4,
God,
3.5,
dude.
No.
4.1.
I'm telling you.
Snoop Dogg causing the next recession.
Yeah.
This is
Oh
like if I was
my
the owner of Scooby Snacks and
couple
then
are
Scooby comes out that he's
bigly.
vegan and his ass is not eating like any more Scooby Snacks,
There's a
Like,
couple
this
of
is over.
bigly here, but
Oh, dude.
most of them are down.
Imagine being able to have that kind of influence through an entire market.
Oh my god, some of them are now like 4%.
Yeah. Wait.
Holy
Now, granted, in
shit.
general, weed stocks have been pretty ass, so I'm not
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
The
like,
rest of the
honestly,
market is
just
also
by
down.
like
Yeah.
Where's
But
where's
still.
Don't take this
where's
away from us, okay?
Hex's,
Don't take this away
weed
from Snoop.
stock?
Hex
Optics
does
one.
not have a publicly traded weed
Oh,
company.
okay.
Yeah, Pine Park is not publicly
can I bet?
Fine,
Can I,
fine,
can I bet
that's
SR on this? Can I bet
Maybe.
SR?
Yeah. I'm telling you,
Am I short? Am I
sports
long?
betting's
Which
taken over. Like, I mean, ESPN just announced like they just literally turned like a 6 million follower account into a betting account randomly with like no warning, like a full ESPN channel.
6 million?
Yeah, it was like 6 million. It was like Sports Desk or something. They literally just announced like 2 days ago. It's like, oh yeah, this is ESPN Bet now. Like they just like randomly rebranded that shit. So I'm just saying we need to hop on the wave. We need to hop on the wave. This is how this is how we hook people in. Okay.
Start gambling.
Disclaimer. You will win.
I don't think you're legally allowed to say that.
Do not gamble.
Wait, is this a great time to pivot, talking about brands that decide to pivot in a weird direction?
That's
Well, we gotta finish-
Before
wait,
we
we gotta
go,
talk
I just
about
want to say
Wright.
as well. I just want to say as well that with Snoop Dogg stepping away from weed, it does open up opportunities for other content creators to step into the weed
that's
area.
true. There's
That's
an
kinda
opening.
true.
There is an opening.
Hey, we're not sponsored by Freeze Pipe anymore. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, get that off the table. Get that off there.
Get that off there.
I mean, like, we didn't talk about Clash though.
Clash?
Oh, yeah, the new
Clash,
game mode?
5CB.
Oh, yeah. I guess we can talk about that first.
Yeah.
5CB, yeah. So they're bringing in Clash, but it's not quite 5CP because you're always fighting over a single point, rather than 5CP like you can back cap because 2 points are technically active at a time. But with 5CP, it's a neutral point that like moves depending on who caps it. So yeah, honestly, pretty interesting. I always liked 5CP and TF2, and I think it could work very well in Overwatch. And they're remaking Hanamura, or like they said in the presentation, like, wow, that building looks very familiar, and it's just like the Hanamura point B. And it was like, okay, sick. But I'm glad they're remaking some of these maps because Hanamura was a beautiful map, and it was one of my favorite 2CP maps, if not my favorite one. So
Wait, so you say instead of a
really cool.
line, instead of like a line of 5 points, it's like open at multiple points.
No,
at the
it's
same
still
time?
like a line of 5
No,
points,
it's-
but there's
they
always
still-
a neutral
Oh,
point
great!
rather than
oh,
in
look
TF2.
at graphic.
Yeah.
Whoa!
So
Well,
yeah,
you watching BlizzCon?
yeah. So
I was working.
So it is. I understand why they don't want to have 2 points active, because that just like, if you had 2 points active and you could go back and forth, it would be exactly like TF2 where Tracer is king or Scout was king in TF2's example. Like everyone would always play Tracer and you'd always be flanking, or you could just play Sombra and run behind everyone and just fucking run onto the point. Like it just wouldn't be fun
It
to
works
play.
for TF2 because everybody has like crazy mobility, especially in like competitive and stuff. But in Overwatch, that does not work.
Also, like, it's worth noting, like, I think Aaron said this, or someone said this in the panel. They're like, we want to incentivize everyone to be playing together, the 5 players to be working together in collaboration to be able to achieve the same objective. If you have 2 points active at any point, that's not really what you're trying to do anymore. And I think that's an important thing. I like that point. So I want to give it a try, because I remember, Johnny, you might have this as well. Back in like 2017, Jeff Kaplan actually said they tried 5CP early on in Overwatch, and they said that it didn't work with the fundamentals. Maybe that was because they had the 2 points open. Maybe they didn't think about doing an individual point, but they had considered doing this in the past, and they decided to scrap it because it didn't work in the Overwatch, the way Overwatch plays. So I'm excited. 5CP was by far the best mode of TF2, and I think made a very balanced game mode where it felt like the better team always won.
Yeah, I didn't play TF2, so I trust you guys. The soldier heads.
It was the best. It was the best mode.
I mean,
was the
5CP was a great game mode, but also this is not 5CP, so we can't really. If there's no neutral, if there's not 2 points active, it's no longer 5CP.
It's still 5 control points.
This is just it's just 5 control. It's like Flashpoint in a line.
It is Flashpoint in a line.
It's Flashpoint in a line,
which might be better because Flashpoint is kind of chaotic with how it's just like so open. And I'm sure this is also easier to make maps, but like honestly, like I'm fine with map game modes being very similar. And they're just like a slight difference because that makes it that maybe they can make it more balanced and they can pump out more maps and stuff like that.
I feel like there has been a little bit of a map drought I like Samoa, but it's like, well, it's another control. So we need more push maps. We need more Flashpoint maps. And now we got a new game mode. I'm just worried that we're going to be in a situation where they're releasing another hybrid map, but there's only ever 2 maps for like push or like in the rotation, or like there's 2 maps for fucking clash, and like we need to bump those numbers up of the map types. Although to be fair, maps take a long time to make because balancing a map is very difficult. But hopefully we're able to pump out some more maps like quickly, because you don't want to be stuck in the cycle with like push where we had like 2 maps on push for Overwatch League and it sucked because the maps just got so samey and it felt kind of bad after a while.
And push is a good game mode. Everyone just hated push, but that was just because Colosseo is just a bad map, and it just is a bad map, and like it needs to be redesigned in some ways, like that. So everyone hated push, but it really wasn't that bad. Like I think Esperanza
because people just
is a great map, and it's a really fun map. Like I have so many good back and forth on push, which is actually kind of cool.
Good, it's good. New game modes are good.
I'm kind of like meh on it, but
okay.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Okay. Good input.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Why are you meh on it? What's wrong with Clash?
So I already know Joel's answer to this, but if theoretically they had to bump another game mode, like get rid of one game mode, which one would you say you don't like right now?
I'm
hybrid.
Ooh.
I feel like that's all take.
Leave the podcast.
Hybrid.
What?
Yeah, hybrid.
Hybrid?
100%.
Really?
I think hybrid's the best game mode.
Think of all the hybrid maps, most of them suck ass. Like if I had to play Numbani one more fucking time, I swear to God, I'm gonna smash something. But like I think hybrid, I think the first point holds are really bad. I think escort just does it better. I think I'd rather push the entire way rather than have to capture the first checkpoint. I think that's just really annoying. And I just don't like a lot of the hybrid maps. So it would probably be hybrid.
You might actually be cooking. But
like there are obviously like exceptions in the hybrid thing, like King's Row. But if they just turn King's Row into a payload and they just put a card at the start and then just fucking made you go through the entire way, that would be a better map than I think.
Midtown is
King's
good.
Row saves it.
No, I hate Midtown. I think Midtown runs into the same issue. That first point choke. Like I think it's residual hatred of 2CP. It's like half 2CP.
Maybe.
So it's like that's what I hate about it. Is I hate that like singular capture point
first hold do feel bad, but like especially with how the spawns work in hybrid on every map except for fucking Numbani, like I think it's okay. I think hybrid's a very good game mode, if not the best. With escort being close second, like maybe joint first. I think both those game modes are the best in Overwatch for sure. That's crazy. Maybe that is residual because I think hybrid mixes like not the frustration, but mixes an element of 2CP in a way where you have to capture a point and then unlock a payload. And the first point, it's easy to cap on most maps. But first holds do feel bad. But then it also feels fucking terrible when on Route 66 you get held in gas. Like you use Big Earls or whatever. Like,
yeah,
you
but
just get held there and it feels
But
terrible.
I feel like with when you have a payload, I don't feel as bad because that means we just got the shit stomped out of us. My biggest problem with hybrid is when you win a team fight, but then something stupid happens, like your support gets picked like at the very end of the fight, and then they come in, you get 2 ticks, and then they come in and they just win, and like everything that you did was for naught. Like I also think a lot of what my take is like probably Flashpoint is worse than hybrid. Like fundamentally, probably, but it's new, so I enjoy playing it a little bit more, and it's different. While hybrid's been around forever, and all those maps have been around forever, so that's kind of why I think. But like, I hate Paraíso. I think that second point is just the hardest thing ever to assail. and I think they need to fix that map as well.
Yeah, they need to fix that map.
Yeah, that map is just very difficult to play offense into. Like, I think there's a lot of issues with a lot of the hybrid maps that I just get really frustrated on.
But
So I think hybrid's worse than push. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, as long if you take Coliseum out of push, I actually really enjoy push. I actually think there's a lot of very close games on push that are back and forth, and I think you have a lot of fun overtime moments. Like overtime moments, I think push has the best overtime moments of any map, any game type. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, I
Better
would
than
agree with
Escort,
you,
even?
actually.
Yeah, I think Escort has
definitely
one of the worst overtime setups. Like I think usually the writing's on the wall for Escort.
Yeah,
who's
I mean,
gonna win.
I guess because of the spawn. I mean, fair. I guess. I mean,
Anything
honestly,
that
you might have cooked
elongates
on this.
OT, I think is a good thing. Like elongating OT, pushing the bot in OT is like, especially as a viewer, like I think that's very exciting. Scott, I watched the Lee J Gon orgasm phase clip, the fucking
classic.
he's fucking going crazy. I have that clip on my PC. I
Okay,
randomly
that's kind
found
of
it the
weird,
other day.
but okay.
Well, no, not that exact clip, but like the final moments.
Things I wouldn't admit on the internet.
Just a
but-
final
Well,
moment.
it's a meme. It's a meme. What do you want? But it's like the whole clip at the very end of that map, Boston versus London, and like the OT finish from Boston was fucking crazy. And like obviously that's what made Lee Jigon go crazy on the fucking on the cams, you know. But it was ridiculous, and I would say you're probably correct in saying it's probably the best OT like experience there is. Even when you're playing as well, like it can be frustrating if you get it all the way and then you get just fucking rolled 1 meter before. But like, you know, that's just how it is sometimes. But saying hybrid like that, I don't know.
I
think
know that's
hybrid,
a controversial take, and that's I
It
probably
is very
wouldn't stand by
controversial.
it like 100%. But
and Route 66, or sorry, Paraiso, you're describing a problem with the map, not the game type, I'd say. Because
But
the
I
map
think
is
that game type has a
kind of
lot of those, like Numbani.
No, he's right. The game type has a lot of moments
like
like
I think
that,
Hollywood's second point, because like I feel like the way that they like sometimes they design the maps, like the first point, it's either like kind of awkward, you got to get through a choke. Like Midtown, I really dislike the first point of Midtown because like you can't go through that train, so you're really just going through that small choke. And like if your team's just like playing badly or something like that, you can't do it. Like as a support player, it's like, what do? I'm healing my
you
DPS,
just can't
I'm
do it.
healing my tank, we can't get through the choke, and we just fucking lose. Like that feels real bad, and I think a lot of those situations happen on hybrid maps.
Man, look at
I don't know why, but I looked at the escort maps and the hybrid maps, and in general, I'm way more excited to queue into the hybrid maps than the escort maps.
Really? I think that's fair.
None of the escort maps like really get me excited to like get into the game, except Dorado. I love Dorado, but like I don't get super excited about queuing into Junkertown, Circuit Real.
I like
Route 66.
Junkertown. My hot take is I like Junkertown, and I like Circle Rail. I like that those maps. I understand why people hate them because they play very differently, but I like that they play differently. Like
I love that I
it's-
can play Zen and not feel bad.
That's true. Jack loves to log Zen and throw in my games.
It's good. It's fun.
It's just personal preference.
It is. I think
That's what it is.
but like in general, there you go. Hey, this man is throwing your rank games. Beware. I will say I did have a crazy push game yesterday on DPS where they pushed all the way, but it was on New Queen Street and they got all the way bar like maybe I think like 5 meters or something before the finish, and we finished the entire fucking thing in OT pretty much. And I was like, holy shit, the craziest fucking push game. I was like, it's over. The game's fucking over. Just quit. I want to fucking leave the game already. But no, we fucking pushed it all the way back and it felt so good. It felt terrible for the other team, I'd imagine, but yeah, it felt good for me. But like, okay, I do. Obviously, the main question was, what's the worst fucking game type? Was it? I don't even know. I don't even know.
Except
But
the
it's fucking
part.
Control.
But yes.
We all know it. We all hate it. Control sucks. Control
No.
is not.
Well,
a
no,
game.
okay, Control does not suck
no,
to play. Control
no.
is just a badly designed game mode, okay?
Yep.
Control is similar to the fucking human body. Why do we have an appendix? There's no reason for it to be there. But guess what? We like it. It's there. Too bad. Control, we like it. It's there. Too bad. Does it suck ass? Does it make no sense? Why do we only have one fucking hole to eat and breathe? That doesn't make any goddamn sense either. Why is Control?
you
There's fucking
saying?
goddamn chokes everywhere. I'm just saying the game type. It's ingrained, okay? We can't get rid of it. It's there. It's part of us forever.
You can say that about fucking hybrid. You can say that about anything. I'm just saying.
No, I can't say that about it.
100%
Control
system
is like the
sucks.
most grug game type possible. It's a single fucking point. You go and wide over the point. Whoever wins, you get to 100. That's like the.
That's
it.
fun. You just
Exactly,
smash
it
your
is
head
fun,
into each
but
other.
it's not
like
good design.
football.
The maps are poorly designed. The maps for Control are not good. I don't like a lot of the control maps because of the chokes and shit. It's a lot of the same problems that the hybrid suffers from with the chokes. But the thing is, it's fun to play. So guess what? We're gonna keep doing it. Should I be eating all this goddamn sugar? But my brain keeps telling me I want more sugar. So like that's control. That's just control, man. Like we have to keep doing it. Like it's the only way.
I just don't like you win the first fight. You're more likely to win the round.
But guess what? Everyone loves it. Everyone loves that shit. Everyone's like,
everybody loves it. I personally don't.
Sugar, like, give me more control. Like that
first
shit.
fight. Focus on.
I'm
We
just
gotta win this
saying,
first
like,
fight.
people,
Yeah, you gotta win the
doesn't
first
matter.
fight, and that's why it feels bad.
Doesn't matter that
it
it's
feels
bad. They
But
like
that's
it. The
fine.
people clamor
That's
for it.
fine. If the people
Just
like it,
don't
that's
lose
fine.
first fight,
That's a
man.
pain point for me. I will say Flashpoint. I don't know how I feel about Flashpoint still, and I play it. I feel like
wanna
the
see
game
more
mode
maps.
is so mid.
Yeah, I want to see more maps. I agree with Jack. I'm not in love with Flashpoint right now. It feels very like kind of what you're saying with like Control. It just feels like you're running through chokes, and it feels real bad for the team in Control, and it ticks up so quickly that it feels like usually points are over before they've begun. I will say it's nice that we can't just like all come to an agreement of like this shit sucks. Like this shit is ass because like that's what used to happen with 2CP, and I think that's sort of a credit to the developers that we're not like
Numbani is
everyone
arse.
has their
They shouldn't have re-enabled that.
When they re-enabled with Numbani, people cheered.
Delete it.
Yeah, get rid of that fucking map. That map is the worst thing to ever be
delete that map.
created.
I still.
Don't you
I
fucking
still
He's the
have a
worst.
soft spot for
He's the
Numbani.
worst.
Don't you
He's not
fucking
played
dare.
Overwatch in 5 years, bro. Don't
He hasn't
listen to
played
this guy.
Overwatch. Oh yeah, I
He has not played
want
Overwatch.
you to start playing ranked again of us, and then when you get up Numbani, and then
won't do
say,
that.
yeah, you know what? I still like Numbani, bro. The number of times I've been full held on that fucking map as we try and walk down the fucking
Just
valley
sucks.
of death is the worst thing in my life ever. Like you just don't do anything. You just
It's a
die.
Paraiso issue where like they all have the high ground. They're looking at you. It sucks.
Me doing the I show speed smile as you yell at me, and I just think of a 2017 me playing Torbjorn on Numbani for just yeah.
Yeah, pivot away, get him out of
Yeah.
Nugagu! Bad! Holy!
It's a child.
But yeah, you are right, Scott. I think it's good that we can't come to a consensus that a certain game type is worse than the rest.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Anyway, people don't tune into this podcast to hear our rant about game modes and stuff. They want to know more about the Emerald weapons as well that they announced
right,
BlizzCon. More stuff to spend your comp points on. I think they talked about they're gonna like redo the comp points and stuff.
So
and there'll be a different system
let me
entirely.
explain, because you're not using your comp points. Your comp points right now are legacy. They're going to be legacy credits. So you can still spend those on gold guns, but with the new system, you earn a different point. So comp points 2, basically, and then you get the emerald weapons. My favorite reaction to a lot of this was actually like, this shit looks like ass, and it's like, well, it's not final, you know, maybe they'll change, but I think it's good. Like any kind of reward like this is fantastic. I still really wished we'd get animated weapon charms for like Grandmaster Plus players, like Diamond Plus players. You get like a banner that's themed that has your rank on it, like small things like this for your profile.
You're such an elitist, dude.
How am I an elitist? If you're
You just care
good,
about the
you
good
get the
players.
cool rewards. Johnny, it's not my
That's
fault
how
you
it
can't
should
reach
work.
GM5,
Yeah,
bro.
everyone
Like,
can't
it's
be
not
good,
my
though.
fault.
Everyone
It's
shouldn't
not
get a
my fault.
participation award, and there needs to be something in which players get because they were
Good.
better.
Bro,
and
care about the casual community.
No, because that's what incentivizes people to play the fucking game. Like
no,
that's
you're
what,
incentivizing them to be good at the game. That's different.
exactly,
God,
which
he
is by
speaks.
playing the game. You know what makes you play the game more is if you
speaking
try to be
truth.
better at. Why are
People
we all
have
here? Because
lives.
we tried to. Yeah, but Johnny, you stop.
but I
That's
don't.
the third boomer shit you've said today. Okay, Johnny, I need you to get it together.
But what are you talking? There's like a single mom out there trying to enjoy Overwatch an hour a week.
Holy
Like, come on.
single mom discourse is in Plat Chat Overwatch podcast. I can't believe it.
Let them
I can't
enjoy
believe
the
it.
animated weapon
Yeah,
The
charms
single
without
mom
you
discourse
being
has
like,
arrived.
No, it's
Ain't
not
no
good
way.
enough. You
Ain't no way.
gotta play competitive like 20 hours a week. You gotta be
We'll get them
diamond.
something nice. We'll get them something nice. So congratulations, you can have this
give
gold
a-
gun,
a
but you don't
profile
get the
picture of a
big
gold gun
fucking
or some
giga
shit.
emerald gun because
Yeah.
you suck, single mom. Get your shit
Okay,
together.
whoa. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Holy shit. Oh, we got her.
Oh
we
my
got that
God.
hypothetical
Wait,
single mother.
oh my
We got
God.
her. We got her.
No, we just need cool shit for everybody. Enjoy as a community as a whole. But
No,
I
fuck
get
that.
it. We've been here before, Custa, because we talked about events before. when they did like the Olympic event or whatever, I was like, I want this Zeus title, and I want no one else to be able to get it. Like, it's just, I'm still looking at that Philosopher title, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed the Philosopher title. And I like that. Like, it's a limited time edition. It's a limited edition. That's probably what's gonna happen with the Doomfist, One Punch Man skin. I get it. I love all that, but give all the cool shit to the people. Like, give all of the community a chance to earn the really cool reward.
Well, they do have a chance.
They have a chance. There is a chance.
There is a chance if you get good.
Like,
Like,
just
the thing
getting
is,
good.
you do need, there do need to be rewards, scaling
Oh my
rewards.
God.
Every single fucking game does this, bro.
Yes.
Like, there is no like, oh, you just give the title and give everybody the Grandmaster title. Fuck it, bro, just do it. Give everybody the top 500 title.
No, obviously not. But I can't.
you should
You guys
have
haven't
small
understood this.
rewards.
We're not Valorant. We're not Valorant. We
No
are
shit.
a casual game.
Yeah, no
but
shit. But
wait.
there's a ranked mode.
Has Johnny
Yeah.
given up?
Like,
Johnny's
I
given
think
up.
he
I
has.
Johnny given up?
This is
He
the
has
episode that
given
Johnny
up.
gave up.
Was this what you're doing for this week and a half, 10 days when we're not seeing your ass online? Are you just sitting there
Yes, I've been
brooding
giving
about how
up
you've
for
given
a
up?
week straight, bro.
He's over? It's over?
I've been
It's
giving
over,
up,
bro.
bro. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Honestly,
him.
I didn't realize we had reached that part of Johnny's arc yet, I didn't realize. Like, bro's gonna be, what's next? Are you gonna be in the Destiny 2, forums? Like, being like, guys, I had to grind so much for, rewards. I can't believe it. We've gotten this far.
That is Jover. If you're a Destiny 2 fan, look.
Well, listen, Destiny 2
Destiny
is
2
a
player, how do you
casual
start to
game.
play
Destiny 2 is a
Always
casual
sit.
game.
How many
you
expansion
know?
packs do I need to buy of Destiny 2? Which pack do I buy? Holy moly, holy web of just dishonesty there.
I agree with Jack that there needs to be these emerald guns. This can be that thing
They
for
are for
everyone,
everyone.
Johnny.
Come on, Custa.
If
I
you-
don't think we need to hear more from you.
No, we do. Shut up. Shut up. Talk.
I promise to not take any more shots at single moms. So, you can give the emerald guns to everyone if they play, right? That's the thing that they need to do. Is it doesn't have to be about performance or being high ranked to give everyone the emerald guns. It's just if you play lots, that's kind of like your title, Johnny. You play lots, you'll get it, right? That's good for the emerald guns, and if that's what they're doing for seasons or whatever they end up doing it for, then that's great. But as Jack said, I think there needs to be some incentive and some reason to climb and something that's meaningful. It can be a weapon charm, it can be a title, it can be anything. And you can say they have it, but right now they're kind of meaningless. It feels like because everyone gets the top 500 one, because if you hit top 500 at any point, then
You can get it if you're masters.
You get the title, and you can get it if you're diamond if you
do
go
all your
quick
rolls.
enough, right? You just need to be the first 500.
It doesn't work like that, but you can get it if you combine queue. If you combine queue, you get it.
There's ways to get it, and I don't know. I just think there needs to. The elitist in me says that there needs to be something that incentivizes people to continue to grind. That's it.
I love talking about this because this is a topic I've thought about for a million fucking years at this point.
That sounds productive.
Well, it is, yeah.
Bro,
for
he's in
fucking
his
game
giving
design.
up era. He's in his giving up
yeah,
era.
actually,
He's
giving up.
actually
Shit.
Just thinking about
Well, you're just
Shadowrun.
actually Eoring up the podcast. Bro was like, oh, okay.
What's the point of thinking?
We'll talk
Everybody
about it.
stop thinking.
I like playing single player games.
Yes.
Enough with the casual. Look,
Yeah.
it's already
And you
been
know,
like this.
they don't need to
The
be
higher
stood up
rank
for.
you
There's
are,
like 8
the higher
billion
rank
of them.
you are,
That's
the more points you
fine.
get.
Because look, there's a scaling reward thing, right? At the very top end, you get a weapon charm with the icon of top 500 that fucking does the little thing, and maybe it's designed in a way that's thematic to the season. And then if you're diamond and above, you get a fucking banner. And then if you're fucking silver and above, you get an icon. My point is, we had it in Overwatch 1, kind of. We had the animated sprays, and then we had the golden icons. We need that, but better, basically, in Overwatch 2. Because right now, like Scott said, in top 500, like Grandmaster, there is no other, here's a reward for being top 500. It's the title. When I think titles are really cool. I think they're one of the best additions to Overwatch. And especially for the casual audience, too, because everybody can have a fucking title, and a lot of them are really sick. I don't wear my titles. I wear the one from Season 1, Bite Fixer, because it's the coolest one. But, these things in ranked need to exist to incentivize players to play ranked, and also to reward players for being good. There just needs to be a couple of little additions here and there that would allow players in top 500 to be like, hey, I got this fucking icon from a few seasons ago. Oh, sorry, weapon charm. I got it from a few seasons ago to kind of show off. There should be these things. And I think Emerald weapons are a step in the right direction. They are for everybody. You can just continue to play, and that's how they pitched it at BlizzCon too. It's like after you get a certain amount of wins, you get like a big boost of points. Like, so if you play a lot during the season, you're going to get a ton, and you're going to be able to earn these emerald weapons for your characters, which is really good. And they also said, I believe it was annually, Scott, on your point.
Yeah,
So
I think I don't know exactly what the word was.
maybe there's
so
a Ruby
wasn't
one in 2025. There's a 2024, maybe it's emerald, and then Ruby is 2025 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, which is great. And I really thank fuck we got comp point like changes, because Jesus Christ, that's
The thing-
too old.
The thing that makes that cool as well, and it goes back to the FOMO argument we've had before, is let's say we get to 2029, Overwatch still exists for some unforeseen reason, and you have an emerald gun. That's really cool. Like, that was 6 years ago, you played and you got this gun because you played competitive a lot. Like, I think having those kind of legacy items, I think is really cool. And I think the problem with gold guns right now is that everyone has a million. I actually logged into Overwatch to see how many points I have, and I have 15,000 comp points. And I don't even know which ones I don't have gold. I don't think I've ever looked at someone with a gold gun and been like, cool.
That's
because
epic.
it's just everyone has them.
Yeah. I do hope that we don't go down the line of just like, oh, emerald, ruby, sapphire, like we're gems now. Like, you know, take some inspiration from like Call of Duty or something. Like Call of Duty has like crazy, insane skins. Like they're just like from space and like all kinds of loopy, just gold decked out. Like it's just crazy stuff.
So what you're saying, Johnny, is gun skins.
Finally.
No, I'm just saying that like don't retort to fucking RuneScape like with the ores and the minerals. Like we can actually be a bit more creative.
RuneScape catching a spray now as
We
well.
can be a bit more creative.
Well, I
Look,
think
I'm
also,
a wowhead, okay? I'm not out here arguing for thorium weapon skins, all right? It's just not what I'm trying to do here. But just like we can push the creativity a bit, you know? It doesn't have
So
to be
you're cool
ruby,
with
sapphire.
so you're cool with reward skins for competitive rewards.
Yeah, totally. Oh my god, I'm not.
Then what the hell have you been talking about this whole time?
Because he was like absurd. Like, never mind. It was like I definitely think there's a time and place for it, but like it doesn't have to be too much. Like, why do you need all of these like custom top 500 rewards? You know,
Because
I like
it's
the
just
idea
one
that
thing.
like the current gold skins. I like that the higher ranked you are, the more points you get, but you still get some points if you're like gold or whatever. So you can like you have the opportunity to still get that stuff, right? But just completely restricting. Yeah, I like the animated top 500 spray. I think that's cool. But should you get like banners and like you have to be top 500 to get like an animated weapon charm? I think there's a balance, and so I don't want to push that too hard because that's dev
that's why you just
resources
have
that could go
tiers, bro.
for
That's
the
what I'm
rest of
saying.
the.
You have
You
it.
get a
you have
profile icon if you're silver plus, diamond plus. You get the icon.
Yeah, everyone
plus
should
the
be.
banner,
I feel like everyone
and then
should be
GM
rewarded for their ranks.
Yeah, and then GM, you get the icon, the banner, and the weapon charm. Like
It's just
that's
top
the
500 should
thing.
get the coolest shit because like that should be your striving to
Yeah.
reach there. But like everyone should get rewards still. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Like-
It's a scaling like reward system. It's not not top 500 is not getting everything.
Also, Overwatch
It's-
has to have the most like delisted currencies. By the way, like when you think
Yeah,
about like
it's
we
crazy.
lost the original credits for like the battle pass, like premium currency. Then it's like there's like the Overwatch League tokens, which are probably going away, and then on top of that, there's like the old competitive rewards points. Like Overwatch, this shit has like it's gone through like 8 different governments. Like the currency has like changed like so much. So often,
yeah.
like bros out here, I'm out here with like Roman denaries being like, okay, can I get a Subway sandwich and shit? Like this thing is going, it's crazy out here. I can't believe how many currencies are out in the Overwatch system.
That we can agree on.
Okay.
Anyway, let the record show I stood up for single moms. Anyway, moving on to the Roadhog rework.
I didn't.
We got the Roadhog rework. They sort of like announced it on Monday. They did like a developer stream. Brought some content creators on, and they talked about all the changes. Huge changes, guys. Huge changes to Roadhog. Bit of an outrage as there was only one ability added. And then they did some reworks on the current abilities to change it up how Roadhog plays. Were you guys underwhelmed? Overwhelmed? Like, what was your first impressions on the Roadhog rework?
I was underwhelmed, especially when the first thing that they released was just this graphic. They're like rework, and you're like, this is everything except you just added Pigpen, because in this graphic they don't tell you what else they changed. The other big things that happened is obviously the take a breather is now on like a resource like Diva's Matrix, where you can just use it, and the scrap gun changed pretty dramatically. Of like you can no longer right click, but the left click is more consistent from mid range because there's like a couple of big pellets in the middle.
It's crazy, that graphic, because it kind of like covers the changes to the take a breather and the scrap gun, but like it sounds exactly the same as the old gun. Like it's like there are big differences there with the scrap gun. Short range spread weapon with a mid range shrapnel volley. That's the same thing as the left and right click, but now they're one. So like it makes sense for both things. Take a breather, heal yourself and reduce damage taken. That's exactly what it is right now. But it is also in the change thing, and it's also on a resource bar, like, and you reduce damage taken. Like, it's so strange, man. Luckily, Overwatch Cavalry put out the good tweet here with what the Pigpen does and the scrap fire and stuff. It was a bit of a very confusing graphic, and obviously everybody's going to leap to conclusions, which is kind of bad, but they kind of didn't help themselves. And I in an ideal world, they would have, under that tweet, put a little video of him using Pigpen and him using other abilities. But that didn't happen, which kind of sucked. You don't want to take strays for no reason, and I feel like they took a lot of strays for this.
Yeah, well, I feel like, people are always going to be negative towards them. I think, for me, my overarching idea of it is that it didn't change Roadhog enough or fix any of the problems that Roadhog has, right? Which is survivability and just that he kind of dies to certain supports. This trap is actually really good, but it's very, I don't know, circumstantial is not the right word. It's very niche in the way it gets used. Of like, it's great for chokes, but I played against a bunch of Roadhogs and I very rarely noticed it actually happen. Does a shit ton of damage if you actually walk over it, but maybe Roadhogs just haven't worked out how to use it. The big issue with Roadhog right now is this damage reduction reduced to 30% on his take a breather. So obviously now he can be more liberal with when he wants to take a drink and get that damage reduction and healing, but he's not healing as much and his damage reduction is lower, and you notice that. Like, now when he's just running away taking a breather, you just kill him and he just dies. And it's worth noting that I think Alec Dawson ended up coming out and saying that they will be tuning take a breather to make it better overall, and this needs to happen. I think damage reduction should go back up to like 40% and see where it stands there, and see if that helps. But right now, he just feels like the same old Roadhog, where he kind of just doesn't help your team and he just kind of dies.
Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's very okay, actually, for the game as a whole. I'm on my... Okay, let me take a small Johnny arc here. I think that's completely okay, especially for the casual player base, because not every hero has to be viable at top level, and not every hero has to be some niche kind of composition that can be played at like a decent level of play, like, GM plus or whatever the fuck, right? I think Roadhog serves a purpose in a tank that is a little bit more solo orientated, or not a little bit, but like heavily solo orientated in what he does. Because I think for the majority of players, you're playing as a team, kind of, but you're not playing like as an actual, you're not playing like Queen Rush or something, where everybody has to like stack on top of each other and shout and speed boost and stuff. So I think Roadhog is completely fine. I think adding a Pigpen ability is good, and it could have just expands the character and adds a little bit more to him in terms of flavor and also just utility, which is great. I think the remake is completely okay, and he doesn't have to be good at all. He can just continue being shit, because the character is impossible to fucking balance without taking away his hook.
Zen player, by the way. Zen player. Zen Ana player.
I think it's completely fine. No, it honestly is completely fine, because if you want to remake him into a tank that is like viable in comps and like viable to work with a team and like a decent at a higher level, you have to take away his hook. You have to give him armor. You have to give him some sort of like space creation tool, and he just doesn't have that, which I think is okay.
I mean, that's one way to go about it. I mean, I think I will say, before we get into this, because we already talked about it, why I understand some of the changes are quite complex. There has to be some way when Blizzard does these initial like graphics for them to think about how to display this information that more is coming better. There just has to be, because I don't understand how there's been a consistent issue with Overwatch. It's the same with patch notes. We're like, patch notes, like, guys, here's the patch notes. But by the way, there's actually secretly hidden patch notes that if you hold up against the light exactly at 12 a.m., you can see all the other changes that weren't listed in the patch notes. And I'm like, why did we do this? Like, can't we just put all the information like extremely clearly like out in front of everyone? But besides that point, I mean, I guess there's only two ways. Do you want Roadhog? I think essentially there's people that have hyper fixated on Roadhog. I know a person that loves Roadhog. All they do is they're a friend of mine. They play relatively casually. Roadhog is like their comfort hero. They've hyper fixated on Roadhog.
And they're still your friend.
Like,
just checking.
They are my friends still.
Okay. Just
and I think that, like some people are like, I want Roadhog to be really good no matter what. Some people are like, I want Roadhog to be viable. Some people are like, it's fine to have Roadhog be shit. I think like at the end of the day, like Jack said, this did nothing essentially. Like it made him stronger, but it didn't really change his viability in any way. Like it pretty much was like a straight, like it made his one shots better, and that's pretty much it. But like, and like maybe, I think there's some extra flexibility with the breather. Now they just get like interrupted. Like you don't get punched out of like healing now, right? Like you can just resume the cooldown. And like I think that change to take a breather is probably one of the better changes they could have done to it. But I also think that like it still doesn't change the fact that Roadhog can't do anything for your team other than kill people. That's it. He's just big DPS. So like you need something. I think Shart Candy, the infamous Shart Candy, said like, what if Roadhog could like do Kirby moves and just like suck up like damage and shit? Like I'm like, wait a minute, like they might have an idea here. Like I'm just saying that like they need Roadhog. There has to be a point. There has to be a choice of like, do we want Roadhog to be good or do we want Roadhog to be Roadhog? And like if we're cool with Roadhog being Roadhog, I think this is fine as it is. But if we want Roadhog to be good, bro needs to get his ass some armor, some shield. He needs to get knighted. Like he needs something. Like bro, he has to get something because he's useless. There it is. Yeah, it was Shark Candy.
So they should let Hog swallow people like Kirby. And
okay,
I
think you could. I think you could
3 seconds without getting stunned or killed.
Okay, I
didn't some of their abilities at random. So like he could eat a Bastion and turret form, and if he eats Mercy, he could GA. Imagine a fat nasty bitch flying. Like that is crazy.
I didn't read the rest of it.
Clearly.
I think I thought it was more of like a damage mitigation thing.
You thought this was like some Tom Kench ability, but they overcooked.
I thought it was something
Insane
else going on there.
So
I mean,
funny.
it's still a very funny idea though. It could be a funny like one-time game mode, but like either way, like I still think that like they need something. Roadhog needs something. He needs some juice because right now he's juiceless. And,
I disagree. I think.
If
like
you want it to be good, if you want it to be shit, then it's fine.
Right. I think he's fine. I think he's fine being shit.
Just leave him being Roadhog.
If we're cool with him being shit, then I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I think it's complete. It just
I'm fine with him being shit because essentially
elements.
I find his hero design functionally non-compatible in Overwatch.
Yes,
so like it just doesn't make any sense.
He's Overwatch 1. The transition for Overwatch 2 just fucking killed the character pretty much, like with it being solo tank now. But I think that's completely fine. He could be the fucking Teemo of fucking Overwatch, like I love playing Teemo. Don't get me wrong, it's really fun. But like he's kind of bad, but that's okay. It's just a casual kind of like, just pick up the hog and go. And adding the new ability just makes him a little bit more dynamic. Just good.
I think Jack actually is cooking here because I like the idea. We're at 40 heroes now. Not every hero should always be viable at any given situation. And I think it is worth having heroes in the game which are fun to certain people. Doesn't mean they're good, but they're fun to certain people. And like, as long as they don't get giga strong, right? And that's where you really have the issue when like Roadhog gets really strong. It's kind of the same issue with Mercy. Like I don't think they're ever gonna completely change Mercy, which in my opinion is fine as long as she never gets to a point where she's just like so strong that everyone needs to play her and like it kind of like hurts the game in that direction. So I agree. I think Jack has a point. Like I wouldn't call this a rework more than anything. I think it may have been the thing that I think a lot of people are disappointed by. Like they've been teasing this rework for a very, very long time. And this didn't really change the identity of Roadhog at all. Like I knew he was going to keep the hook, but I thought they were going to change like he no longer one-shots, but he has some defensive utility that he can do something. But it's really just they gave him one extra ability and changed a couple of his stuff.
Yeah,
because like, it doesn't really change how he plays. Like with Sombra, it changes how you play, and that I would count that as a rework, right? Because You aren't like translocating into the back. You don't like run around the map, translocate on the floor, run up to people, shoot them, translocate back, run, translocate, shoot, and then EMP. Like you play much more as like a brawler, well, not a brawler, but like you're playing more off to the sidelines, but not too far because you can't get away because your translocator doesn't go that far. You like it fundamentally changed the playstyle of Sombra. This with Hog doesn't. It is more of an update than a rework, yeah, I'd say. And I think that's probably where people are a little bit pissed off. It's like, oh, we're expecting like a big thing where like whole Hog is gone, but it is something else now. He does some other cool ability. He's fucking Kirby from. So I think it's good. I think the update is decent. Makes the character more dynamic. The character is going to remain shit, which is fine because some people just really like playing Roadhog. The guy that named Jaws in Quick Play that plays only fucking Roadhog. That I bumped into one time, and he's got like 1,000 hours or something.
Did I play against you yesterday on Shambali? Was that you actually?
I threw that game.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure because I wasn't sure if it was an imposter Jaws because you weren't technically online. Okay, sweet.
No, it was me. I gave up. I gave up.
You switched that. I'm like, the classic Zen swap from Jack.
Well, I swapped to Larry, and then just AFK just fucking Frogger killed me. So that was epic. Good game. Very epic.
Yeah. I mean, literally an hour ago, we praised the devs who are just like, oh, all these creative and fun, iconic heroes. And so, like, kind of makes sense that they wouldn't take Roadhog what he is and, like, just completely, like, make Roadhog something that already exists. Like, we keep the creativeness, keep the uniqueness of Roadhog in the game. Don't need to mess with it, It's a niche hero, but people love it. All right. I don't have a great transition. I was going to transition from that somehow, but I don't have a great one. What's going on with the Houston Outlaws, guys? I've been in a cave the past week. What's going on here?
Voss, insider correspondent for this one, right?
Report?
Going to our live correspondent, Avast. What's new?
There it is. Can we focus? Keep this focus on Grogu, please. Keep this focus on Grogu. So it looks like Grogu's saying this. Wait,
Child.
let me see if can I? Wait.
What are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
oh, there it is.
Let him speak.
So here's what's going on with the Houston Outlaws, Johnny.
Okay.
Recently, they announced that that they were going to be rebranding to a content organization, and they put out a video. You could use a lot of different names. It would be Perplexing, I think, would be
Perplexing. Got it. Okay.
Perplexing video where they had Junkbuck and Bishu, along with I think they also had Shadow, the GM.
GM, yep.
Yeah, they sat down and they were doing a press conference and they're like, hey guys, we're moving away from esports. Also check out our new roster, as if it's like a sports team roster. And they announce a bunch of creators. And the creators come in and they wear like Houston Outlaws jerseys and stuff. And then Junkbuck and Bishu and Shadow leave. And Junkbuck and Bishu have now said, they're no longer with the organization. So they had them do like a video. Oh, I guess this one had like, I think this is, they had like, I guess it was Los. I think this is Los. It's not Lord Denzo. This is Los, one of their other producers. I think it's like, his name was like Handsome Guy Los or something. But like, they had these two guys do this announcement announcing these new creators. And then they're both fired. Yeah. And then they said it's a roster, but it's like not a roster. It's not a team. They made it seem like it was like a team roster announcement. Like obviously it is like roster of creators at face value, but like clearly it's just like kind of an odd choice, And so now they're a content organization. I think there's a lot of different ways you can approach this, but that's essentially the summary.
So my first question is, why didn't they get content creators that are like associated with Outlaws?
Well, so that's okay. So first of all, I think
like Jake,
they do have. Oh, why they're not getting? Well, they didn't get. You could argue technically they still like technically Lorenzo and Los are still technically creators, so they have been with Outlaws.
Okay, why didn't they get Overwatch content creators? Like, because Jake is probably expensive. Let's be honest.
Warren and Ashley were in talks.
So also, just gonna give another note. I was in your Lorenzo tell-all stream the other night. Too.
All right.
I would say there was some I would say, was I participating in the discourse that he was? I was mostly asking about his movie choices. I wanted to know what his movies he liked and stuff. So that's what I asked him what his favorite scents of cologne were, if he was a citrusy guy or a woodsy smell type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it seems like the people in charge of the Lorenzo. So also something Lorenzo says he's the creative director of Outlaws. He clarified on stream. He runs the YouTube channel like content only. In my opinion, that's not a creative director, because the creative director handles all facets of the creative direction of a company. So like as the director of esports content for Misfits, like all the socials and stuff, like even if I don't make something, I have to approve it. You know, I have to be like, okay, like this is something like I'm signing off on. YouTube channel, like it goes through me. You know, design, graphics, stuff like that. That all goes through me. Like any choices we make, like a lot of like random other bullshit, you know, like events and stuff like that, even though it's technically not for me, like you like that?
This is
me explaining to my friend that's new to Overwatch how to play Sombra.
This is what he does as creative director, by the way. He explains his very important title, and this is what he does.
Read the cat. Just do a loop. Just do a lipa. Just do a lipa. Just do a lipa.
That way.
Just do a
I did not get that. I did not get that until you explained it to me right now.
So essentially the point being, but he only handles YouTube content. But whoever's in charge of that, I think they don't really value Overwatch as a game anymore, as an organization. And I think it's like also this is their first batch of creators. So there's no he essentially also said he didn't rule out they might not get Overwatch people in the future. It's just for their first batch of creators, they weren't really targeting Overwatch because they find it's not a very according to them, they think the game itself is not like an avenue where they can grow a lot of content out of, according to them.
Which is fair. Okay, and I like
this.
You can't say that their decision to go to a content branding is bad at all, right? That makes the right
sense.
decision. Great way to leverage a brand that you have that is essentially non-existent, right? Houston Outlaws are going away. Everyone's taking the $6 million deal. It's Jova, okay? So it makes sense that Houston are trying to build something with their pre-existing brand. The thing that a lot of people are frustrated with, especially the fans of the Houston Outlaws brand, is what they are becoming has no relevancy to what they've already built. Like, if you're a fan of the Houston Outlaws, there's no reason you would be a fan of the content they're making or any of the content creators they have. Even if you weren't able to get a Jake or anyone related to the Outlaws brand, if they were able to get an Aspen, a Warren, you know, that has been rumored, then that's something that people can at least attach to, of like, hey, at least they still have some Overwatch content creators, even if it was just one of the 4 or something like that. But it feels like they have nothing. And then this has to be some of the worst PR management I've ever seen in my life after the negative response to the announcement.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
they've been blocking a lot of people, Johnny.
They're blocking people on the Houston Outlaws social media accounts.
Yes.
They're blocking a lot of people.
Instead of muting, they are just straight blocking people.
Bro.
Right? It is kind of crazy. And I'm in full agreement with you, Avast, Connor. Sorry, Scott. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. That was one of my worst, I will say. I don't know why I get your names. It's because Custa and Connor, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I do agree with you, Scott. Just a single Overwatch creator, if they're, you know, humongous like Aspen, you know, Jake, whoever, or someone that's like medium sized, or maybe someone a little bit smaller, just to leverage the Overwatch brand that you had already. Just like a little push that way would have gone a long way, I think, in a lot of people's books, rather than this whole fucking fiasco. Just like a single person, man.
Yeah. And now they're in free fall, right? Like, do we have the picture of their social media like decline over the last week, which is always going to happen when you transition a brand, right? Is. But it feels very extreme, and
it would have been way less worse if they picked up someone that's Overwatch related.
Yeah, guys, we've been losing subscribers on the Plat Chat channel since Sideshow and Josh left, or Sideshow and Bren left. So, guys, I don't know what that says
only
about
one
you
of
guys,
us is only one of us of the members that have remained has given up. So what can we say? I don't know.
So true. Scroll down. There you go. So 30-day average minus about 6K.
Yeah.
So obviously when it happened, they had the biggest loss of followers, but
yeah. But usually it's like a trickle. Usually it's like a trickle down. It's like, because like people gradually like tune out of the account, and just like some people are able to deal with it for a while, but then gradually people are like, oh, I don't know why I follow this account anymore. Like I don't really, you know, I'm not really interested in the post. But like the sudden spike of just like, boom, we're out of here. Like that is obviously a bad sign. So
I will also say the big frustration I have with their whole PR setup as well is that, like, you need to accept that people are going to be upset. Stop addressing the issue. The best way to get people to stop being upset at you is to just stop talking about it and just start creating content and start doing what the plan was. But they keep trying to do damage control. They had a statement that came out 2 days ago. I don't know if we have that as well, Solomon.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, we do.
They have a statement that came out 2 days ago that said absolutely nothing to change anything about any one thing. It's just reminding people that what they're doing is annoying and that people hate it. And then they also have this Lord Enzo person who is the ire of all the hate of the fans, is like doing a stream, and like the tweet is like, I'm gonna stop all this misinformation and like canceling that's happening and stuff like that. It's just like, if you stop talking about it, the fans will stop talking about it as well, and you can move on and create what you're trying to create. Fortunately, Avast, they have one fan in Avast who's really excited to see what comes.
It's true. I'm excited to see what comes. I think I have a lot of opinions on this as someone that has literally experienced this and been a part of it professionally with 2 different companies now. So it's way too long to go into a topic. I'm essentially going to say that I think there was going to be no great way to do this either way. And I respect some of the decisions they're trying to make, and I wish them the best of luck with that. And it's just, I think the Overwatch community is really hurt because Houston was such a long time brand and it felt so dismissive of the brand. And I think that's something that's the real heart of the issue. I don't think they should have been up. Everyone's like, they should have picked up an Overwatch creator. And like Lordenzo was talking to an Overwatch creator. I'm like, I get all that, but like, if they don't feel like it fits them creatively and where the vision of the company goes, like, I think that's fair enough. I understand why people are frustrated though, because of such a sudden turnaround and like the weird, I mean, like to me, it's like, it's weird to have a announcement video be like, here's our new roster. Our creators come in and wearing Houston Outlaws jerseys. They're creators. They're not players. So like, you're also being like, okay, why are we still evoking imagery of like esports? Like these guys aren't esports anymore, you know? And additionally, like also you have Junkbuck and Bishu, 2 very beloved, long-standing members of the community, usher in the people that then, and then now it's like, oh, I'm fired, by the way. Like, I'm done. Like, it's just like, it's just an interesting, it's not exactly the way, if I was there, it would have gone down like that type of thing. But like, so for them, I'm like, I think there's going to be a hard transition. I think Overwatch people also just have to kind of get over it. Cause I do think in some ways, like people are being too vitriolic to Outlaws. Like they're being too hateful towards them. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily agreeing with this stuff. And there's also some weird shit that I saw. Like, there's some like Lordenzo super fan that I was like, bros like always ragging on people on Twitter or like in the stream chat talking about like Andrew Tate and shit. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, so like there is some weird stuff. That was one step too far
to me. I was just like, okay, this is like, I'm
yeah, exactly. Like, but like that's superfluous to the thing. The thing is, Outlaws are a content creation brand, and that's a hard business to be in too. And they have a lot of steps to go through that. And I also think I have so many opinions about this from a creative perspective, from my own experience, but like, I'm not going to be able, like, it's just not for this podcast essentially to go into that. And I just think people are like, Lordenzo explained like part of the reason they thought, he thought, because he says he doesn't control the socials, they were blocking people, is that people were being so hateful towards the new creators that they had, and like he said that they were experiencing sexism or racism, which once again, I don't know.
Unacceptable. Yeah.
Exactly. That's unacceptable. So I can understand that. I don't know if that is necessarily like what the trueness factor is, because he himself then goes on, he then said, I don't know what's going on with socials. So I'm like, well, how did you know what's going on with that? So like, who knows, right? Like, that's all like whatever. But like, blocking is a very like nuclear option for a brand account. Typically
brand account. Yeah.
Like they never.
Of course, personal accounts. Like I block people sometimes. Personal accounts.
Yeah, personal accounts are your own thing. So like I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I also think it's weird that people are like, look at the free fall of the brand. I'm like, well, bro, they were gonna lose so many people like regardless, anyways. And like even like to me, like there's so much to go into this. Like I just think that like we should be happy for the memories Outlaws gave us, but if you don't want to watch a Houston-based content organization, then I would say you should just be done with it and just leave. Like, I don't think there's really a reason to, now granted, have like, obviously, like, I still think it's fine to like make fun of it and everything. It's just like, but that's just my opinion essentially, is because like, I've been there, I've done that. It's like, it's over. It's dead, man. It's dead. We can't bring it back.
They keep bringing it up. And they're like, I think that's the thing that a lot of people have said. As you said, they're acting surprised that Houston Outlaws fans are upset. If they did a thank you Outlaws video with Junkbuck and Bishu, where they just sort of sat down and they said like, it's the end. Like, thank you very much for all your support. Like, the Outlaws are going away and there's something new around the corner. And then they made another video where they announced this. I don't think there'd be any hate. People would be disappointed and upset to some degree, but I feel like they just keep digging their grave deeper. And that's the frustrating thing to watch from the outside looking in.
And additionally, you know, like you mentioned as well, Avast, just like I think when you're dealing with like fans and communities and like beloved, you know, kind of like groups of, you know, communities like this where like people enjoy spending their time, putting their money, their time, they're like invested in this community, taking sharp turns, it's like not a good idea, you know? Like if you want to pivot to something, like yeah, build that organically, you know, explore that area and like invite people to like, you know, do that new experience and try to have people transition into that. But just taking like sharp turns and just like disassociating with the community, I just think it's a waste of opportunity.
Well,
I think they had an opportunity here
that,
to really like vibe with the community and like organically build towards something, but instead they were just like, yo, here's TikToks about Call of Duty, and it's just like, well, you kind of gradually have to build towards that stuff, I feel like. So
well, I think they were building towards it because like, you know, they had the Juggernaut group, which is Lord Denzo, and like was his content group before this that they were making stuff for it, and then they got into a lot of hot water because like during playoffs or grand finals, literally when they're in Toronto playing, they're posting stream clips of like Lord Denzo while Houston is playing in Toronto, you know? Like, it's clear that this is the direction I think they were going to be going towards and, like, inching towards, and it just happened. This is the finalization. I mean, like, because, like, also, like, what does, from, you know, in your mind's eye, I guess, it's like, what does organically growing one way mean? Like, right? Like, because Houston didn't really start doing this until past year when they brought on Juggernaut. Like, what does organically mean? Like, if they suddenly, like, Overwatch League is over, what does an organic growth towards a content thing look like if there's no Overwatch League anymore? Like, what does that even look like? Can you even do an organic growth? You kind of have to hard pivot unless you're like, oh, we're going to keep running an Overwatch esports team while building a content division, right? But, like, if the media ownership group has no desire to fund Overwatch esports anymore, then essentially there's nothing else you can do other than hard pivot. Like, there's nothing left. Like,
you could sign one Overwatch content creator. Like, that's it. Like, you telling me they couldn't have had one more content creator or one other thing? Someone that they could be like, hey, there's still going to be some Overwatch on this channel that is going to be Outlaws related. Like that at least like softens the turn instead of just being like, what we are going to be posting has nothing to do with why you are watching this channel or why you've ever been a fan of this channel.
Yeah. And like, that's why I think I have a lot of creative opinions about this, because personally, in my personal point of view, after a lot of shared experience, it's almost always better just to make something new than it is. Like, to me, Lord Denzo explained is like, well, we didn't want the brand to die. But I'm like, well, the brand is dead. Like, the brand's dead regardless. Like, you've killed it.
You're just using the name.
And it's not, I mean, it's not like, it's not your fault, Lord Denzo. You're not the one that made the decision necessarily. Like, I'm just saying that, like, the brand is dead, you know, essentially anyways. Like, in terms of a current extent. I just think, like, the thing is also because the problem with, like, is like, well, why did they just sign an Overwatch creator? Is I also, like, maybe they didn't have maybe they're like, here's your budget. And like Aspen and Warren, who were people they're supposed to be talking to, is like, they cost too much. Like maybe their budget is too small for that. Maybe like, they're like, well, we could get a smaller Overwatch creator, but we feel like the metrics and the analytics on getting someone that's like maybe more focused on COD or a different game, like just goes to our growth more. Like, you know, we don't have all those insider decisions that are currently like what they're choosing creatively or like what the business metrics go to that. It's like, I think it's fair, but also that's why I still think it's perfectly fine for people to be upset, because like, holy shit, this is such a huge turn. It's just like, but also at the same time, like, so I've lived this like twice, and like, it's, you know, you just don't have all the insider knowledge that goes into that. And so I feel for the Outlaws people, but listen, all I am going to say on terms of criticism note, my ass would have done it very differently. I would have done this shit very differently for sure. I don't think I don't really agree with with a lot of the choices, but
I mean,
overall,
fond farewell to a few people.
I think that it's just
been nice.
It's just unfortunate because like people are lashing out on a brand, and it's like, because the brand is like, this isn't what we love, and it's like, well, the ownership group is like, well, we want to keep doing something with it, but it's like, so like inherently there was going to be no agreement ever, essentially, unless the ownership group just chose to essentially to satiate fan wishes, they spend money for fan, you know, feelings type of thing. So it's shitty. It's just shitty. It sucks. It's the end of the Overwatch League, and that's like kind of the situation. Is like, we're gonna lose some soldiers, you know? We're gonna lose some people in the battle, the great Overwatch League death. You know, like this is the snap, man.
We could talk about this for, you know, 2 more hours, 5 more hours, I don't know, 8 more hours. We could.
Bro, I could do a whole. I
yeah.
could literally do a docu series or my own personal, like, shared,
Yeah.
like, professional experience over this one. I could do an insane amount. But yeah.
I just feel like, and look, we're not talking about it much more, but I just feel like, when you have a community like the Outlaws, I don't think just like killing the brand is like the right way to go, like taking a sharp turn. So I wish they would have, done something with the current fans to some extent, and what could have, like, what content paths could have gone down with the current Discord they probably have in place and the current fans, and like how to get engagement from them. I think there's something there. I think you and me, you obviously have way more experience, dealing with this with Florida Mayhem and Misfits and everything, right? You have way more experience than me, but I think also I would have done something different from you, just from my experience with Plat Chat or my own community or whatever. So multiple ways to go about it, but anyway, yeah, it's a big fiesta. We could want to talk a little bit about the eLeague stuff that's going on as well. It's just
the shy shit.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
this
guys,
shit
we can hit on it. We can hit on it. We should talk about it at least.
Basically, right? Correct me if I got this wrong, okay? Correct me if I got this wrong. But there's a qualifier for the Saudi eLeague. The Saudi eLeague runs concurrently with the Flash Ops tournaments. So you kind of have to pick. Do I want to play in the Flash Ops or do I want to play in the Saudi eLeague? Some people participated in the qualifiers, and turns out, the most recent post is from Shy, from his team, and they didn't qualify because someone overslept and they couldn't play 4 versus 5 or reschedule the match. So now this team with Shy on it, Shy is like in.
Shy
he's
and
like over
Spectra
there?
is on this team as well, as well.
Spectra.
So Shy Spectra DPS duo
Yeah.
isn't going to be able to play.
They won't be able to play. And is he looking for flights home? But they're like expensive or something? Or?
Essentially, according to his live stream, he said he was looking to go home after arriving there because he literally got on the plane and was informed. I mean, Gumbo did this whole thing, but Shy got off the plane and then was informed his team lost and they're out.
Yeah.
Like, Shy got on the plane in China, left to go to Dubai, like landed, and it's like, oh, by the way, like, it's over. And I'm like, huh? Because supposedly, according to this post from Gumba, there was the big miscommunication about when the qualifiers started, which was the biggest issue overall. Was like, the biggest issue was this misunderstanding of when qualifiers started, because then they had to go into playing this qualifier with a sub, but then because Shy was obviously unavailable, and then the sub slept through the match, and then they were like, well, you don't have enough players to play, and we won't let you play 4v5. Yeah. So they just got DQ'd. Because, like, obviously the other team, and, like, I don't necessarily, obviously for competitive integrity, like, you'd wish the other team, but, like, this is for, like, the prize pool of Saudi eLeague is, like, $107,000. It's, like, over double the prize pool of Flash Ops, and it's, like, all on, like, LAN, I think, essentially. I think this is the qualifiers. I don't know if the qualifiers are on LAN, but I know, like, the playoffs and stuff are on LAN. So obviously it's a big deal to a team that's looking for, to earn some money, since most of these teams are, like, free agent teams, so they keep the full cut of the prize pool. And so, like, Shy gets there, and then Shy is also, he's like, oh, shit, we lost. And then he's, like, there, but now they're telling him, like, oh, don't leave, by the way. Like, it was, like, where was this? Like, there was, like, something about, like, they were like, hey, don't leave just yet. Like, yeah, it says, I asked if I could fly back because I won't be playing. They didn't respond, so I bought a ticket, got packed, but then they wouldn't let me leave the hotel. So, because saying they're waiting on a verdict from some sort of committee.
Yeah, they say there that there was a thing I say he said up there. He was like, he's not sure if they said he shouldn't leave because they're not sure if the player threw intentionally and didn't show up intentionally. So that
Yes.
I think they're trying to work out if there was like foul play here, that like it intentionally was trying to be thrown or something like that. But as obviously this is all, Shy doesn't have full answers. Like, we don't know if that's actually the truth or what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
It's just a clusterfuck at the end of the day. Because it's like, if you're gonna you're gonna fly Shy to Dubai, like, and he's obviously a big ticket player, big name player. They want him to compete in the LAN, and the fact that they flew him out and then it's like his team didn't qualify because of a scheduling mishap is kind of silly to begin with. So hopefully
he's having a lot of trouble just like ordering food and stuff like that as well. It sounds really
Well, I doubt they have a lot of that. I don't know if they have a Chinese translator with him. They have anyone who's able to help him. Like he doesn't speak the language.
Spectra's got good
speaks
English.
Okay,
so, like
sweet.
Spectra can help him with that. At least. Like,
Okay,
I don't
that's
know.
Yeah.
But Spectra's also not Chinese. So like I don't know what Shy's. I don't know what the communication level between. It seems like they're good friends, but I don't know what their communication level is like.
Yeah.
Either. So like that's like a whole other thing. But like pretty much he's just waiting to hear back from this committee about like what's going on with the game. So they're stuck in this hotel, like just chilling, for right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of a fucked up mess.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. They had a tough group as well. So they got third. So they had like 4 groups in the qualifiers, and each group had like 7 teams or something. So Shy's team, it was already Shy and Spectra were the 2 imports into that team. But then in their group as well, the top team was one with Top Dragon, Marvel, and Creative. And then the team that qualified above them was actually didn't have any imports here. So here you see as well. So White House, the team below there, qualified above Team Falcons. And in the other groups, there's some imports that are still playing here. So in Group 3, you had Psycho and Bernard qualify first in their group. Taejong and Dola also. So there's like a few names spread out there. Group 2 was pretty stacked. Had Merit and someone on one team.
Yeah.
And it had Checkmate, Landon, and Missin on one. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs here. There's going to be some fun matches to follow. And as you said, Avast, I mean, there's $100,000 in the prize pool. So,
yeah, the prize was not messing around.
Yeah. So, if you're a pro Overwatch player, there's some money to be won there. You can buy some, pay for rent, pay for food, stuff like that. There's also the flash up stuff. There wasn't a broadcast for the European and North American qualifiers. Am I correct? I thought Door did like a qualifier.
It's
I don't know what was going on.
And as much as some people are complaining about this, it's like this is like the beginning of this like enormous bracket. These matches are usually like pretty big blowouts. It's very hard to organize and run these kind of things when it's like so big. Like as long as there's a broadcast as we get towards the end, I have no problem with that.
You only do playoffs, right?
Yeah, you only do the matches.
So big, like the amount of teams and stuff. There's just no shot. You do like. Yeah,
and players are able to stream it, right? Like, so you can just watch your favorite player or team that you wanted to watch anyway. So it's like, I don't think it's a big problem. But yeah, they didn't have a broadcast for it.
Yeah, I mean that's how like most. It's very hard to have, like, it's expensive and hard to have broadcast of like all the qualifiers for like an open event. I think the weird part for me is more so like there's been very little promotion / understand. Like it's not even just promotion. It's more so like. It was like I had to solve puzzles to figure out where the fuck I'm watching this shit or like when's it happen. Like it's like there wasn't like that was, and I think that's just because of the fact that like we're approaching holiday time. Overwatch League just ended. I think there's just like no one, because Esports Engine was contracted to do like the social media for World Cup, and I don't think Esports Engine is contracted obviously for this Flash Ops event. So like I don't know what the responsibility is or like if anyone's even left to like do that, to even tweet. So like. It's like a very weird situation with that too, which will probably get better as they get closer to the playoffs, I assume. But yeah, it's been a little confusing in regards to that for sure.
Yep. So I think they're playing the qualifier this weekend too, and that will secure spots for the main event that takes place December 14th to the 17th. So we're about a month away from the main event. That's for EMEA, North America, and APAC, of course. APAC is being played a little bit earlier. Combines the qualifiers from Korea, Japan, and SEA. And that final takes place December 8th to December 10th. So lots of stuff to watch here. 50,000 prize pool for each region. So it's going to be fun. And look, there's going to be a lot of big names competing in these tournaments. So it's definitely something that we'll follow. And I think we'll cover here on Plat Chat. And Lord knows if there'll be a broadcast. If there's not, maybe we can cook something up on one of our streams, one way or another. So
I mean, I've been co-streaming it. I was like with hair, but I literally I was telling like Seeker, I wasn't planning to do the qualifiers because it's such a shit show, and Seeker was like, "Can you just watch my matches?" And I was like, "Okay," because he's like playing with RuPaul and stuff. So I literally just like went and co-streamed Seeker and RuPaul's streams. Just watched their streams, and then Harry and Door also they were doing their. They were actually in the lobbies and organizing with teams to like get like the spectate a bit. Like Door himself was literally spectating,
Yeah.
Felt very 2016. You know, like it's just kind of running and people are working it out.
Yeah, I think Jake streamed this POV too. So
Yeah, Jake's on a team and stuff like that.
yeah, Jaws is on a team. Jaws is not here anymore. I don't know how Jaws did.
No, Jack
Later.
left. He's done.
Yeah, doesn't he have a wireless headset? He can probably hear us.
Yeah, you can probably hear us.
Jaws!
Hey, Jaws, you suck.
Jaws, how'd it go?
Jaws, don't say anything if you think Mercy is fine and balanced.
You think he's trying to poop right now? He's just like,
I
shut
don't
the
know.
fuck up, guys.
Dude, did you know? I ripped my underwear pooping the other day. It was crazy.
What?
What?
Like it's crazy. Well,
Sorry?
Fucking pissing. Yeah, carry on. This Connor story is pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, Jack heard
You
this.
should-
Jack
you should
heard
tell
this
that story.
I was like, I had everything off. I was just, I like to be free, so I just take everything off when I'm at home. I'm just sitting, not everything, like the shirt stays on, but like all the bottom half. I
Like
just
you're
take that off.
naked walking around your house.
Well, no.
Do you have
I mean, when I'm
underwear on?
pooping. When I'm pooping, I'm saying specifically.
So you
when I go
take
poop-
everything off the bottom half when you're pooping?
Yes.
Really?
So I like to
That
have
seems like a lot of work.
No, not really, because I'm wearing like shorts and shit. Like it takes like 2 seconds, And so
Okay.
like I just slip that off, and so then I'm like, it gives me a lot of freedom, and so I was putting it back
For
on.
what? Your feet? Like flabbing your
Yeah,
feet
I
because
kinda
you don't
like-
have
I
shorts
kinda
around your
like
legs?
it. I
just
get
imagine
into-
he's just
dangling
like
his little
maneuvering
feet, he's
like
swinging
a
his little
kid.
feet.
I kind of like getting into maneuver. I like man spreading on the toilet, So I went to go put after I was done. I went to go put on my stuff. And sometimes when you put on your underwear and like if you do your shorts at the same time or pants at the same time, sometimes you miss like the leg hole. So you're like trying to like adjust. And I got impatient, so I just ran it and I just like ripped through my underwear. And so I was like, but then it gets worse because then I was like, fuck it. Like this is the morning. Like I'm just gonna go work out and like I'll just throw away this underwear right after because like who cares? Like it's ruined. I might as well just work out in it. But then that was a big mistake because then I went to go I did a quick run, like a 2-mile run or so. The underwear, because of its jagged ripping, I didn't realize it was since I moved with such speed and velocity, it like began to chafe my thighs like insanely, and I didn't realize it until after I got off the treadmill. And I got off, and my thighs, the inner thighs, were just torn up. I was like, holy shit. I was like, my God, it was so bad. And so then I had to like waddle, like bow-legged, like back to my apartment. And then like I had to take a bunch of like cortisone cream and like put on my thigh. I'm good now. But that happened.
Bro, I cannot believe you just told that story. That was fucking awesome.
I mean,
So,
Can happen,
I
can
learned your
happen.
lesson. Don't run with ripped underwear, okay? If you're going to do a 2-mile run or so, or even a 1 mile maybe, don't run with ripped underwear because it will chafe up your thighs probably.
Okay, everyone
good
learned.
notes.
Okay,
Good
so
notes.
what did we learn? Poop with your clothes on.
No, not that.
And if you tear your underwear, don't run in them.
Don't poop with your clothes on.
And stay away from Avast. 3 important lessons to learn.
Why stay away from me?
the last one's pretty important.
Why stay away from me? I'm just like everyone else. I love Critical Role. I have a baby Grogu.
I'm like everybody else.
I'm like everybody else.
There he is. There he
Oh,
is. Baby Grogu, everybody. Whoa.
Oh. All right. Brennan's player of the week, guys.
Off season, everybody.
Avast underwear?
Avast ripped underwear. Yeah.
I mean,
That
it
sounds good.
could be that.
Let's chat. How many
Baby
suggestions?
Grogu.
Grogu.
Yeah.
I did
Bryn's
put
gonna
one
be
link.
homeless for 2 months, by the way, for Bryn's player of the week. He's gonna be homeless. He's moving, but he doesn't want to get a new house, so because he's waiting for his next like contract. So
Wait,
he's
who,
like, yeah,
Bren?
I'm just gonna be stateless. Yeah, Bryn. So Bryn is just like his lease is ending, and he's gonna go back to see his girlfriend in Korea, and like, but he's like, there's 2 months still essentially until like
He
the
has
new year.
2 months?
So he's gonna go hang out with his girlfriend, and he's waiting for his contract before he signs a new lease. So he's just putting all of his shit in storage, and he's gonna have no legal residence for like 2 months.
Oh yeah, isn't it illegal to travel? I think it's illegal to travel without a residence home.
No, I think he's like has a spot still. He has a spot.
Okay, as long as he has
Yeah.
something that he can live.
Yeah,
Because
he has
I've
a
had that problem before where like I was in Canada and I was staying with a friend and I tried to fly into the US and they're like, your residence is Australia and you have to go back to Australia, your residence, before you can come into the States. And they actually declined
No,
me at
I
the
think he
airport.
has something set up there. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but he doesn't have he doesn't have like
As long
a
as he's doing
place
alright,
to
yeah.
sleep.
That is the most
technically.
Bren thing I've ever
Bren had just paid an entire year in Texas, and I don't think I've ever seen him live there.
I mean, I think he
every
was there
time
for
I
like
show
3
up on
months.
stream. Yeah.
out of the year. I think he was there for 3 months. for the whole year.
He
and his place
sent
is
me a
going
message like a couple of weeks ago. And it's just like, thanks for the wedding invitation, bro. And I was like, all right. No, not quite. It was actually like a thank you card or something I sent him. But yeah. Hey, it's a world traveler. Respect. Brooklyn Nets posted a Winton meme.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Dude,
this was
I
about.
saw this on Twitter.
Yeah.
These random NBA teams are just posting winter memes.
Yeah, I was like, wow, what a
Out of
revival.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Legendary.
So I don't know
I'm
what's
down for
about that.
The
but
Brooklyn Nets, Winton, everybody.
I thought I also saw one with like tennis or golf. I can't figure it out. But yeah, the Winton meme is going around again in 2023.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Hell yeah, monkey.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody loves Winton, man.
Guys, who are we giving Brent's Play of the Week to so we can end this? Solomon?
Winton?
Solomon? No, I feel like Solomon is a cop out. I feel like we've given
Solomon's
Solomon
cop
so
out.
many
We
Brent's Play
can't
of the
give it
Week.
to someone who actually
We give it to
deserves
Solomon
it.
all the time. Sorry, Solomon.
Avast ripped underwear.
Avast rip underwear. Okay,
There we go.
let's go.
I'll
Brent's
take
Player
it.
of the Week.
By the week
Avast
for
ripped
hurting his
underwear.
thighs.
Yeah.
For dominating those. Yeah. There we
It
go.
could also be
Well
for the
done,
camera.
everybody.
They're about to put a camera in
Single
my-
moms?
my
Can we give
guts.
Brent's Play of the
Oh,
Week?
single moms.
Single
Single
moms.
Actually,
Yeah.
that would help. That would help me a lot. Actually, that would
Single
help me a lot.
moms. Let's give
Single
this a
moms.
repair
We
the
appreciate you.
reputation.
There we go.
You're the
There you go.
goats.
There we go.
You're the goats.
Brent's Play of the Week 202 goes out to single moms. Put it in the sheet. There's no one that keeps track of the sheet anymore. Thank you, single moms. All right, that's it for Plat Chat Overwatch episode 202. You thought this episode was crazy? Stay tuned for next week. It's going to get even crazier. I don't know what we're doing. Later.